All right, let's hit those steel drums. Good morning. Hey, well, good morning. It's good evening. Hello, John. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hell yes. Welcome to those secrets. You're listening to Ethan Van Sciver, Comicsgate Live, Halloween Creep Show. We got a creepy ass creep show for you tonight to end your we'll probably take you all the way through Halloween midnight tonight, talking about some weird stuff, talking about some kooky kooksters. I got John Malin here with me. How you doing, John?
Doing great. I'm hiding out from the kids right now because my wife left me with no candy.
Oh, you got to turn off all the lights in your house, right?
Yeah, I did. I'm hiding in my office.
Sabotage.
We got Kanan White, incredible artist Kanan White, with us as well. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good, man. It's good to have you.
Likewise.
Well, we should start off with some bad news.
Yeah,
well, it's it's just one delay after another. I know everybody's waiting for this. Let me just show you. We keep getting these notes, and it's important that we keep you guys updated with this. So, 1 second, screen share, and I can show you what's on my screen.
I have a feeling I know what this is.
Yeah. Heidi Pease to Rekieta Law. Okay, Nick Rekieta is trying to get this stupid 911 tape with Mark Waid. I'm so sorry for the delay. We're getting new furniture in my office and it's a mess. I will let you know when I have a chance to look. No later than tomorrow. Heidi, you've said that for 3 days. 3 days now. Don't you understand that we run a huge radio show here? A gigantic radio show with people who are anxious to hear Mark Waid act like a chimpanzee on tape.
Wow.
They're waiting. People are waiting. So I guess it's going to be a little bit longer, and I do apologize. I know I keep promising you guys that we're going to have it. First of all, getting this 911 tape is miraculous in the first place, and we've done pretty good. We've got the CAD report. I showed that to you already. We're going to have the 911 tape soon. We're going to have the transcript. I don't know. I mean, we just have to keep drawing it out, I guess. I don't know. Is that suspenseful or annoying?
I built it up so much in my head. I'm almost afraid it'll be a letdown now.
How could it be?
Well, in my mind, it's like like a jungle, like going to the monkey cage at the zoo.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping it is. I want to hear first of all, I want to hear him screaming and yelling, and I want to hear things being thrown. And then I want to hear, come quick, but I want to hear like panicked voices yelling at the police dispatch to send someone over here to cuff Mark Waid, throw him in the back of a squad car, and put him behind bars where he belongs. That's what I'm hoping for. But, I'm with you, John. I'm prepared to be disappointed. I'm prepared to be slightly let down. But in any case, from what I understand, the tape should be pretty funny. So it is. It is. It's coming, guys. Please be patient.
It is definitely a gift, either way.
Yeah.
Wow. So is there somebody recording him in the office going off on somebody?
Yeah. Okay. So what we're looking for is this. To let people who don't know, thank you, Kanan, for part of doing a radio show, part of doing Comicsgate Live is storytelling. We're supposed to be storytellers, and sometimes you forget. You assume that everybody's caught up with the story. And not everybody is caught up with the story. Not everybody knows what's going on and what's being discussed. So it is kind of important that we do go back and just rehash for people. Do we need to do a rehash of this?
I know a lot of it, but I guess I was just curious if it was, you know, what was coming was going to be him, like, I guess, going off of some errors, or just like somebody like accounts, like I was there when, you know, kind of thing, or it was actually him on tape.
It's him on tape. So basically, Mark Waid got in business with a nice, I think, black couple. Although I'm not really sure. I heard interracial couple. I heard Shannon Pierce Outlaw is, well, I know she's black. I've seen a picture of her. She's gorgeous. I don't know about Jason, who became her husband. You know, details are scanty about that. I'm not sure, and it's none of my business.
Okay.
But in any case, Jason co-owned this comic book store with Mark Waid. He brought Mark Waid on as a partner. I assume there were some troubles between the two of them. Mark Waid never signed a contract with him. He never really signed a contract. And so he was able to basically screw them over at one point and kind of force them out. At some point, Mark Waid shows up at work. He shows up at the comic book store and starts throwing books around and yelling like a chimpanzee. He's throwing product. He's throwing product to Jason. Jason says, "Hey, look, I had a choice. I had a split this, second decision to make. Do I actually fight this guy, or do I call the police?" And I think he made the right choice. He called the cops. He had the police show up after Mark Waid. And anyway, according to Shannon Pierce Outlaw, we learned that there is a 911 tape of Jason saying, "Please send help." We actually looked at, let me see here. One thing that we do have that I was happy to show off yesterday, and I can show that to you again. I can actually show you the full thing. I think I just showed you a kind of a clip of it, a picture of it. Okay. But I'd be more than happy to show. This is the CAD report. So this is the here's them calling for help. So this is the report that the police kind of type up when they are about to roll code, when they're about to send an officer over upon order here. So hold on a second. Detail call for service report, nature of call. Okay, all this stuff. Let's just scroll down. And this is basically the lady who's on the phone taking notes. She's taking notes as Jason's like, "Help." Okay, what's the problem? Mark's Garbs. Correction. Mark Waid. He's tearing up the business inside. He's the okay. Dispatch received by Unit M152 with squad cars on the way. He is the couple's business partner. So Mark Waid is the couple's business partner. They're on the phone. He's on the phone saying, "Send help." He's wearing jeans and a black leather jacket. So he is Nerd Fonzie. And they're not sure how he got there. Did he get here? Look, they spelled weather wrong. Weather on foot or vehicle. Not really sure. But yeah, send someone over. Waid is tearing up the business. Here's the information. Jason Pierce here. Oh, so I guess it's Shannon Outlaw and Jason Pierce. And they just kind of, when they got married, they shared both of each other's names, which is very hip. Very hip indeed. So they showed up, and it looks like they dispositions changed. So I guess Mark Waid has calmed down, and then they go ahead and leave. But in any case, Shannon said, "Hey, there's this 911 tape of Jason calling the police and Mark Waid screaming and throwing things in the background." That's what we were after. It is Peephole Circus. Thanks for £2. We need the Wade Pruder tape. Wade back into the left. So that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the tape of Mark Waid screaming like a lunatic. We should have it soon, according to our friend there over in Muncie, Indiana. It took a little while to wrangle this one and make it happen, but hey, we're Comic Skate Live. We're able to do this for you guys, and thanks for being patient. But I hope it's worth it. I think it will be.
Their shop's close to me. Well, I'm in Indiana yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Why don't you just put your street address out there while you're at it, Kanan?
I just said I was in Indiana. I didn't say anything else after that. I caught myself.
Yeah. Somebody's going to knock on your door. It's not going to be a trick-or-treater.
I said I'm in Indiana.
Yeah. So good stuff here. Good stuff all around, I think. I'm pretty excited about getting that. Tonight we're gonna have a pretty good show. Like I said, this is gonna be kind of a Halloween creep show. We're gonna talk about Mark Zaid, Mark Waid's lawyer, digging up dead bodies. We're gonna be doing a little. I'll be reading an article from the New York Times about how Mark Waid's lawyer wants to dig up dead bodies. So stay tuned for that. We're also going to look at another creep, one of these Star Wars guys who kind of works for Lucasfilm, who kind of freaked out. And again, everyone's blaming me for everything. Nice article. Yeah, well, I take credit for most things. That's fine. Most of the things that these guys are upset about, I will take the blame for. Hey, Antonio, how are you tonight?
I am very good, Ethan Van
Skyver.
By the way, how are those people? Is anybody keeping an eye on them?
I'm assuming they're well.
Are they still doing videos? I haven't seen
even know it because every time they do a video, people send it to me. They're like, "Look, they did you." I was like, "Okay," but nah, they did. Last, I haven't gotten one in a few days, so I'm assuming it's over. Just people keep asking me to do the voice, so I'm doing it. It's part of my repertoire now.
Yeah, I have to say I lost interest, and I heard that they did a kind of conciliatory video where they said, "Well, maybe we went too far" or something like that, and I just kind of went, "Well, I'm done. I'm not really interested anymore." And no, at this point, I don't think I'm going to put you on the air. I'm not crazy about your book anyway, and I'm not going to try to sell your book to people. Hold on a second. GoFundMe for your boy Zach. Let me put this. People are noticing that I didn't put the link to this in the description. We're definitely going to talk about this. We've got great news today, John.
Yeah.
Really, really good news. All right, I'm putting the link in the description for your boy Zach's GoFundMe. Now, all right, let me. I'm sure that Kanan, Antonio, you guys are aware of this. Albeit dimly, I think you're busy working on your own book. I'm not sure if you're paying much attention to this.
I've been catching a little bit.
All right, so let me refresh you guys. Let me pull you up to date. So your boy Zach, aka Diversity in Comics, aka Richard C. Meyer, is suing Mark Waid, connected, famous, powerful, albeit ape-like apparently in disposition. Mark Waid, Mark A. Waid. I think it's Mark A. Waid. What's his middle? Can you guys do research and figure out what Mark's middle initial is for me, please? So I can, if it's Richard C. Meyer, I'd like to have Mark Waid's middle initial. Quick Google search for me, fellas, and get back to me with that. Thank you. So he sued Mark Waid for tortious interference and defamation. Why? Because he had a contract to publish his and John Malin's excellent work. Okay, pivotal work, I'd say, when it comes to Comicsgate. Book called Jawbreakers. He had a deal with Antarctic Press. Mark Waid decided that because Richard C. Meyer hates trans people and women, and Mark Waid, and he doesn't, by the way, he doesn't hate trans people. I mean, a couple of them he's not too fond of, but they earn that as a whole. Richard, I'm sure, thinks trans people are great. Women, well, a couple of women probably annoy him, but for the most part, he loves women. Mark Waid has decided to become a white knight in satin armor. He's a he's a knight in white satin armor. That's from The Sopranos. And he is going to stand up to Richard C. Meyer by going to the publisher that has agreed to publish John Malin's amazing work. And I don't know, create some fear, some doubt, some trepidation about going forward with that project and with that contract. Indeed, it worked. Mark Waid was able to talk Antarctic Press into not publishing Jawbreakers. And because of that, he has committed a foul misdeed, an illegal act called tortious interference. Now, two people who have a contract together cannot be interfered with by a disinterested third party. Even if that third party comes with information that is the truth is not a reason, is not an acceptable legal reason, despite what these SJWs say, to get in between two parties and their contract. It is still illegal. And by the way, Mark Waid was lying about your boy Zach, whose heart, how big is his heart? It's big. He's got a big heart. He cares about Luna. And he cares about everyone. He cares about all of you. So you've disrupted this guy's contract, ruined his whole publishing future. Essentially, he's going to have to self-publish. I think he's going to make it. He has made it difficult for your boy Zach to actually find a publisher anywhere else and get published in mainstream comics, because he has also defamed Richard Meyer to the point where, there's some question, in quotes, as to whether Richard is a white supremacist. This is defamation of the worst kind. Richard is not a white supremacist. Your boy Zach is none of these things, and this has done untold damage to his reputation and his future earnings potential. So Richard sued. Now, Richard took all of his money, all of his profits from Iron Sights, not from Jawbreakers. I think he's still spending the money for Jawbreakers to actually produce the book at this point, but from Iron Sights, which has been fulfilled. And he sunk it into a lawsuit, and he spent it all in order to fight for his right to work unhindered by idiots. And I think we need to all kind of support his right, and thus, by extension, our own right to work unhindered by idiots. And there are so many goddamn idiots in this business, so many. So it's important. Now, Mark Waid started his own GoFundMe to earn $75,000, which coincidentally was the exact sum of money that your boy Zach was suing him for, or so Mark Waid believes. So he is trying to raise $75,000. We let him have a 3-day head start, and then we launched. It was like Kanan. It was like was it Braveheart, or was it which movie was it where it's like hold?
No, that was Gladiator.
Oh,
Gladiator.
No, it was Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Right. Yeah. So I was I was like Gladiator. I was like, hold now, unleash hell. And we did. We opened up our own GoFundMe, and in 2 days, blew past Mark Waid, who still has not met his $75,000 goal. We decided we were going to try to match his goal, $75,000. Blew through that in the first day. Second day, here we are, 7 figures, bitch, $100,351 to handle any excess legal fees, any bills that Richard might have along the way, to make sure that this lawsuit goes all the way through to completion. The thing about it is that John, what Mark Waid does, his strategy is to delay. Now, when you have when you don't have a good case, you just delay. You delay. You frustrate the other party until they are more willing to accept amenable terms, because their money's running out. If you're going. I'm sorry,
I think they said something in one of the things I read that that was, I think it was with the Pierce Outlaw comment, that it was something along the lines of, can you wait it out, because he can wait it out, and he can afford tens of thousands of dollars until everyone around him goes broke, and he'll win just by waiting it all out. But yeah, this fund allows Richard to be able to take care of that waiting process. So
yeah, that's exactly what he said. He said, you do have tens of thousands of dollars, because he does, and he's going to drag this out in court. I mean, that's the Mark Waid way.
Did I say 7 figures? I meant to say, everybody's making fun of me now. 7 figures, more like 6 figures. 7 figures is what we're is our next step here. We're trying to, let's get to 7 figures with this. Let's see. Can you imagine? We had a war chest of $1 million. Now, sorry about that, guys. 7 figures, bitch, is kind of is the next step for Comicsgate, of course. But 6 figures. He got to 6 figures, bitch. $100,351, and still growing. So, I was speaking to Zach today, and I was like, "Do you want to shut it down at this point? Do you feel like you have enough to do this?" And he's like, "Maybe, I don't know." And I'm just like, we're talking about this and trying to figure out like what to do, because I think he's going to win this case, and then this money is going to kind of be left over. I don't think it should be spent on candy bars and gum. So what do we do? I would love, and this is an idea that I have. You guys can. I'm throwing it out there. If Zach's listening, he can think about this as well. But I'd like to offer this to the general community. Let's have a Comicsgate legal war chest. Let's take this money and let's have it to sue any big mouth fool who wants to call us a hate group.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's call this a defamation legal war chest. You want to call Comicsgate a hate group? We're going to take you to court. We're going to sue you.
Yeah,
we're going to
call it a warning.
That's correct. This is the thing. We're not going to tolerate this kind of behavior. We're not going to tolerate defamation. We are going to sue the living out of anyone who wants to spread this idea, whether it be on any garbage tier network, website, any article. You want to use those words in relationship to us, our little comic book publishing idea, our little notion, our little political notion. You want to call us that in order to defund us, in order to make it so that we have difficulty continuing to stay in business, in order to make it difficult for us to do what we need to do to become our own, work in our own self-interest. You want to do that to us, we will sue you, and we will have the money to actually punish you incredibly. We will take you to court. We will hire a whole slew of attorneys to make sure that you shut your big mouth. You're not allowed to say that stuff about us. It's not right. It's not true. And the only thing preventing people from, the only thing not stopping people from running their mouths and saying whatever
assault, or however it's worth. This is coming from a post on Kiwi Farms. Apparently, Mark Waid's middle name is Mark. He goes by his middle name. It's William Mark Waid, according to this. But this came from Kiwi Farms. That's the only thing I have found.
Marky Mark.
Yeah, so William Mark Waid is what they are saying his full name.
Really?
Are we still live? Did we just get everyone saying F? Are we still live?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still live. I think it froze.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, you guys can hear me, but I don't know if they can hear me.
Some people are saying it's over.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What happened there?
Now they're saying Willie Wade.
Willie Wade. Yeah, they're hearing me.
You're back. We must have.
Are we back?
Yeah, you invoke the name of the devil and we disappear.
Speak of the devil, and he shall.
Good now. Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened there. Oh wow, we got Umbrella Guy here now. We got Critias here. I told you this was going to be a good Halloween creep show. So anyway, this is what we're going to do. I think we should actually have. I think we should kind of come together in this interest. Have a legal war chest to actually protect us from defamation, which is coming our way. It is absolutely coming our way, and it's important that we be able to protect ourselves and also discourage people from lying about us in a defamatory way that will hurt our business, hurt our little businesses. We're all a bunch of little separate businesses. What do you think, John Malin?
No, I think it's a good idea. I mean, because eventually the word will get out that Comicsgate has tens of thousands of dollars in their accounts, and they're not afraid to use it. So when people are so quick to call people Nazis and white supremacists again, this will temper that.
Agree or disagree, fellas?
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, good. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm pretty confident that this lawsuit's gonna be just fine. I think Richard's gonna win this. I think it's pretty clear. I think it's a open and shut case. The next step is to figure out what we're gonna do from here. This is what they tried to do to Gamergate. They tried to get Gamergate listed as the hate group and listed in the Southern Poverty Law Center, the Anti-Defamation League, all that stuff. To make it difficult for them. They couldn't actually use credit cards anymore. They couldn't accept funds via MasterCard. We can't allow that to happen here. We actually have to protect our interest.
It's crazy.
And it is crazy. These people are nuts. We don't want to have to do this.
They go after your interests. I mean, shoot, like I said, I never expected like how crazy these people are. When they're going out, they're trying to deny you any type of livelihood and on. I mean, sometimes it's not about hurting your feelings. They're not calling you morons. They're calling you Nazis. And in this day and age, we saw what what happened with Gab. Gab was shut down, and like you say, getting people labeled as a hate group. I mean, that's big time.
Yeah, it sure is. It is bad news. It's very, very bad news. So, anyway, so this is just an idea I have. I'm going to leave it open. We were thinking about closing down the GoFundMe, but hell, let's leave it open. I mean, there's still people who are definitely interested in contributing. And I think we do have enough money to get through Zach's lawsuit, but I'm not positive about that. Nick Rekieta said, well, I'd hate to think that it would get to $100,000 in legal bills, but it might. So, leave it open. And that's when I just kind of was thinking about it and talking it over with some friends and decided maybe this is the thing to do. I want to make sure that everyone who's involved with Comicsgate and who aligns with Comicsgate is safe.
Yeah.
It's like, I just find myself in this, in this weird position where I'm watching what's coming down the pike. I'm watching these people. They just can't do whatever they want to do unhindered. We do have to be able to answer them in some way. And being blessed with this kind of money is a good thing. I mean, this is the kind of thing that we need in order to function and protect our interests. So thank you everyone who is donating to this. Now, by the way, our opposing counsel on this case, Mark Zaid. Mark Zaid is an interesting fellow. Some people told me that he has been involved in conspiratorial legal cases for a long time. I wasn't sure that I believed him. I didn't know that. It just sounded too weird. It sounded too good to be true. This guy is better than I ever could have imagined. This is the greatest thing in the world. Mark Zaid is a very flamboyant attorney, as it turns out. Let's check this out here. I'm gonna share. This is perfect for Halloween. It's just perfect for Halloween.
This is perfect for Halloween. So.
John Wilkes Booth's descendants seek to exhume his body. Okay. This is from October 25th, also Halloweenish, 1994. All right. This is so Mark Zaid's been around since the 1980s. And he's, I don't know. He had one big case where he sued Libya. What did he sue? He sued an entire nation. I'm not sure. I would love to get Nick Rekieta in here to actually just give us the kind of rundown on that. Chicago Tribune here. Some descendants of John Wilkes Booth. By the way, John Wilkes Booth, famous A-list actor in the 1800s. So during the time of President Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth was essentially George Clooney. And so you need to look at it in that context. He was an extremely famous, extremely handsome, and well-liked, well-admired actor. He was just like today's Hollywood, just like it. And just like today's Hollywood, he hated Republicans. And did what he did. So some descendants of John Wilkes Booth believe he lived almost 40 years after President Lincoln's assassination. And they want the body buried in his grave, exhumed and examined. Perfectly normal, perfectly healthy, perfectly sane. Two researchers and 22 of Booth's relatives filed a court petition on Monday seeking to exhume the body from the family plot in Baltimore's Greenmount Cemetery. No hearing date on the petition was set. John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln in the presidential box during a performance at Washington's Ford Theater on April 14th, 1865. Historical accounts say he leapt to the stage, breaking his leg before escaping, and was cornered 12 days later in a burning barn in Bowling Green, Virginia, and shot to death. But some of Booth's relatives believe he actually died in 1903 in Enid, Oklahoma. If I die 40 years after people presume I did die, I hope it's in Enid, Oklahoma. The body was mummified and displayed as the presidential assassin at carnivals during the early part of the century, they say. Is that right?
That's creepy.
That is fascinating. It wasn't immediately known where those remains are and if they're suitable for testing. Booth's family members couldn't immediately be reached for comment on Tuesday. The petition does not list their hometowns. Attorney Mark Zaid, who prepared the petition, said he has affidavits from some of Booth's relatives saying he was alive after 1865. Some were given more than 70 years ago, Zaid said. Listen to Zaid. Listen to Mark Zaid. Why would they perpetrate such a fraud? That's incredible, Zaid said. If this is Booth in the grave, why did all those people lie? Are you starting to understand who Mark Waid hired? Are you starting to? Does this give you a clear picture?
I think it's awesome having like an occult lawyer. Like I want him to be like the guy from the Frighteners, Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Stand up in a courtroom, ripping open his shirt with all the whatever the
Wow.
I mean, him defending Mark Waid the way he is online is not unlike him defending people who think that John Wilkes Booth lived for 40 years. Can you imagine John Wilkes Booth living for you have to understand, like, this was the biggest thing. This was the biggest news in the world. People who gave John Wilkes Booth a cup of coffee during the 12 years that 12 days that he was on the run, those people were hung. It's like as traitors. You think John Wilkes Booth could have possibly have escaped justice? You think these people are lying that he got burned in that barn and shot and everything? These people are crazy. This is crazy. And why would they perpetrate such a fraud? That's incredible, Zaid said. If this is Booth in the grave, why did all those people lie? For money, like you. Same reason why you lie, for money. If the petition is granted, forensic experts will test the body in Booth's grave to determine the age, sex, and race. They also will look for evidence of Booth's broken leg. Frank Hebblethwaite, former historian at the Ford Theater Museum, dismissed the theory that the wrong man is in Booth's grave. He said the family identified the embalmed body as Booth when it was moved from the Washington Arsenal to the family plot in Baltimore in 1869. News accounts of the reburial also portrayed no doubt of the assassin's identity, saying an angry crowd jammed the funeral home and passed Booth's severed head among them. Okay. So that's the way people were. That's the way people were feeling. That's the way people were feeling back then. So they would actually, you have to understand, it's like they were so angry, they were so full of hate for John Wilkes Booth. And anyone, his doctor, when he broke his leg, he went to a doctor, and there was a doctor who fixed John Wilkes Booth's leg up so that he could continue to escape justice. That doctor's name was Mudd, M-U-D-D. You know the expression, his name is Mudd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they beat that guy's ass into oblivion. That's where that expression came from. His name is Mudd. This is the guy who actually helped John Wilkes Booth escape justice in the fevered, angry, opinions of the United States citizenry in 1865. So, yeah, they would pass his. I would like to play catch with John Wilkes Booth's severed head. I would like to toss it back and forth like a football between me and John Malin and Kanan White.
Oh, me? I'll pass.
And as together, we can give it a real stern look and point a finger at it and then toss it back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How dare you? The question is Mark Zaid going to be able to exhume Mark Waid's career after this? That's going to be an interesting feat. If there are enough remains, genetic tests would compare the remains in the Baltimore cemetery with the remains of the other Booth family members and with anatomical samples from the body of the man the government identified as Booth in 1865. The Mutter Museum. Oh, I've been there. Oh, how about that? That's in Philadelphia, the College Physicians of Philadelphia. It's a really morbid museum of like strange, physical oddities like skulls. There a severed head. There's a severed head of a child in there. It's it is weird. Has a small fragment labeled as Booth's chest tissue from his autopsy. The U.S. Army Pathology Museum also has 3 neck vertebrae identified as Booth's. So his body's not complete in there, and they should be able to. They should be able to get enough DNA to prove, or they should have. This happened. 24 years ago? How long ago was this? Was it 24? No. 24? Yeah, 24 years ago. I can do math. What do you think of this, John Malin?
I think it's all exciting. I think we need to get a Necronomicon and see if we can get all the pieces of John Wilkes Booth back together again.
If we did, what would happen?
Rebuild him. No,
could we do that?
He'd probably be a murder machine or the world's best actor or both.
What if we did that? What if we did it? Why isn't John Wilkes Booth the bad guy in your next book, Graveyard Shift 2?
Yeah, they were.
What? Holy cow, dude. Why wouldn't that would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. Definitely consider it.
He'll be the villain in the new Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie next year when they bring him back. It'll be like zombie Wilkes Booth with The Rock Johnson, and they'll be making a new movie, baby. He'll be a big star all over again.
Yeah, he already served his sentence, right? Death.
Yeah. He's like, I did my time in hell. You know, I did my time in hell.
You know, it'd be a crazy story if you took, say, like him, Benedict Arnold, Judas, and I'll put them all on the same team.
Wow.
Okay. So it could be like what Alan Moore did, what he did to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So you could do like a reverse of that and have like the greatest villains of all time.
And Edgar Allan Poe would be their mentor.
Oh man. Okay. I got you.
Some people are asking me to put on my Ouija board hat and see if I can summon John Wilkes Booth. I'm going to do that. Hold on.
Hey, I don't play with the devil now. Come on now.
You're gonna have to play with the devil tonight. That is what we're doing on this show. We are toying with satanic rituals. Is that okay with you? I mean, is that trouble?
Okay.
No, you're not crazy about that. You don't want to.
I'm not.
I'm just saying.
Well, I've been watching my share of the new chilling adventures of Sabrina. And I'm ready. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for all this witchcraft.
I didn't get past the second episode.
You didn't get past the second episode of Sabrina?
Yeah, man, that was intense, dude.
Well, I'm ready. I've got my Ouija board hat on right now. John Wilkes Booth, if you want to, there's anything that you want to say? It should go right into my brain. Dan Marshall says, stop EVS. You'll make Mike cry wherever he is. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make Mike cry.
Don't assassinate anybody.
Yeah, I'm just here to, again, wouldn't it be interesting? Wouldn't it be interesting to actually speak to John Wilkes Booth and find out if John Wilkes Booth also agrees that Mark Zaid is a stupid a-hole? All right, let's open up the super chat window here and find out what you guys are saying. Adabisi for the Wade Pruder tape, Wade back into the left. Adabisi says, Uncle E, you forgot to add the GoFundMe in the description below. Wonder Girl 60s, happy Halloween. Thank you, Wonder Girl 60s. Franger, yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. Why is everybody hitting F? Are we really having trouble?
Yeah, your screen went blank and then it came back.
Are we back now?
I told you not to be messing with that. That's why I was like the voodoo spirit.
This is seriously. I'm taking the hat off.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
The Bushmaster.
I don't know. My mama always used to tell me not to play with stuff like that.
Right? You said it, I'm taking the hat off, and we came back. So.
I'm taking the hat off. I will not listen. Spirit Kingdom, Spirit
It
World.
is the Bushmaster.
So we've learned two things. Don't put on that hat and don't say Wade's actual name. Okay.
Oh my God, is that what it is?
Don't say
The Black Panther, the spirit of the Black Panther.
My
I am the Bushmaster.
Yeah, I'm messing with forces that I shouldn't have. You're right, Freddie Primo. I shouldn't be messing with these forces. My bad, forces. All right, so Adabisi says you forgot to add the GoFundMe in the description below. Wonder Girl 60 says happy Halloween. Thank you. Franger says, why is Comicsgate considered a movement? Why is it not simply seen as indie publishing? I really do not understand the controversy, especially since furry artists have been doing this for years. I don't. All right, get them over there. Furry art, okay, but what are we doing? Why is Comicsgate considered a movement? Because we're all motivated by the same thing. I mean, we would work at the Big Two, or we would just continue doing other things. We're drawn together as a group because we're committed to, treating our customers with respect and being kind, keeping our comic books apolitical, nonpartisan, and fun. We just have a different philosophy about comics. We are, rising up in opposition to the far left-wing invasion of mainstream comics, which is deliberate. I mean, it's very deliberate. It's purposeful. They have an agenda, and they're going to make you pay to read about their agenda. You don't want to hear these people. I mean, you don't even. You go on the internet and you mute them. I mean, can you imagine? You're muting these creepos, these weirdos, these freaks. You don't want to hear what they have to say for free. They want to make it so that you have to pay $5 to hear what they say without your even foreknowledge. You're buying a copy of Black Widow, and then suddenly you're getting some speech about third wave feminism. F that. That isn't what comics should be. It really isn't. So we are you're buying a copy of Captain America, and you have to listen to your president mocked and denigrated in Captain America. Screw you, monsters. We're gonna, we oppose everything that these people do, and we're going to do things our own way. And John Malin isn't going to tolerate it, even though he just left. Antonio isn't going to tolerate it. Umbrella Guy, are you going to tolerate it?
I'm not going to tolerate it. No.
You're
right.
not going to take...
No, man. $5. I mean, that is the biggest insult. It really is. And it shows in the sales. I was just going through them. I looked at Fantastic Four. It came out at 368,000 copies. And number 2 was only at 23% of that. So that's what we're looking at. When you scrape the gimmick off, they drop about 78%. I mean, it's amazing to look at this industry and see where it's at right now.
Yeah. Zeno the Stoic says, "Need comics, please. Hold the Marxism. Thank you." That is right. We are, in a way, a little bit like Burger King, in that sense. We'll have it. We'll give it to you your way. Is that right or no? I like my other analogy about mainstream comics being Burger King, and then suddenly deciding out of the blue, they're not going to serve, beef hamburgers anymore. They're going to give you tofu burgers and soy fries. And you're like, I don't want this shit. And they're like, yeah, they're like, this is what's good for you, though. We're giving you we're doing it for your own good. And you go, well, I don't want this shit. And they go, well, that's because you're a fat Nazi. Get the fuck out of here. And you're pissed off. You're like, I don't want to go to Burger King anymore because they're not giving me what I want. My salty, hot, awesome meal,
calorie filled, fries. Amen.
That's all I want. That's all I want. And so in any case, we go, yeah, they're right about that. Customers are right. So we go outside and we don't have much money or any resources, but we're going to open up a hot dog stand right across the street. And it's like we open up a hot dog stand right across the street from Soy Burger King, and we start making 6 figures on single issues. And they go, "What are you doing? How are you doing that?" Well, we've got to nuke your hot dog stand from orbit. That's what Comicsgate is, essentially. Okay, so salty hot meat, says E. Kano. That's what we're providing you, our hot meat. We're going to give you our hot meat, and you're going to dig it. G-Wiz says Ethan's not a fat Nazi. He's just fat. All right, listen. Not nice at all. But true. All right, so I hope that answers your question. Darth Bobcat, Mark Asian hating Wade. What is that about Mark Wade hating Asians?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
I heard that meme quite a bit. I really don't get it. I'm not sure.
Well, he went after AP. He went after Alterna. I mean, he's already gone after 2 Asian publishers like that.
Ben Dunn and then also Peter Samedi. Interesting. Why is he always going after the people of color?
Yeah. He's an equal opportunity offender.
Well, some old guy, 1968. Kudos to you all, Ethan. Mail-in Militia, Ikari Press, Thrashers coming soon to Indiegogo. Love yous, peace. Sweet. Economics and Comics says EVS. I found a Cyberfrog number 0 ash can today. Digging. Hey, that's nice. I wish I could find one. I think I have one. Chris W says Zach never met a woman he didn't marry and have children with. That is true. I think the stats bear that out. How do you pronounce XAN?
Zan?
You would say Zan, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Zan Moff, thanks for $1. Appreciate that donation. Chris W. EVS hates Luna. I don't hate Luna. No, I don't. There's no even just I don't hate Luna or anything at all.
Yes, if you was on an island stuck with Zach, he brought Luna along, and you have no food, would you eat her while he's asleep?
Yes.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, of course, right? Wouldn't anybody or no?
I think I would.
What is Luna? What is it?
Luna is a bulldog, I think, or something. Luna is a fat bulldog that belongs to Zach's best friend. And Zach has adopted Luna. I don't know why. Zach's obsessed with this dog and takes pictures of the dog. Now, I don't hate Luna. I'm just saying his entire timeline has become pictures of the dog. And pictures of the dog without Zach in the pictures. Like today, I took a picture of my frog, but my finger was in the picture. You know what I mean? So I was in the picture with the frog. Oh, wow. Everybody's pissed at me. Look at that. Luna's a boxer. Okay. I didn't know that. The chat is like zooming by like, God damn you, Ethan, unsubbing. Well, Luna is a boxer. Ethan is just jealous of Luna. It's weird. She's a good girl. I didn't say she was none of those. I'm not. You guys are projecting all of that onto me. Luna is a beautiful pup. Don't you dare EVS. Luna is a boxer. EVS hates Luna. Confirmed. She's not fat. Et cetera, et cetera. If you hate Luna, you hate Comicsgate, says Conspiracy in Comics. What? Ray says Luna would eat you, EVS. Look, I feel like maybe I've said something wrong. I feel like maybe I put my foot in it. What do you guys think?
Luna can fight.
Well, Luna's a boxer, so clearly that's the case. I have absolutely nothing. Less than nothing about. Now look, they're saying stop fat shaming Luna, Ethan. She's a strong, independent dog.
Oh no.
Umbrella guy, can you talk me out of this? Can you get me out of this mess that I got myself in? A little PR.
You move on to the next subject, man. I mean, really, it's.
You think so? If maybe they'll just forget.
I blame it on Mark Zaid. You know.
Yeah, I blame Mark Zaid. I can't sell that. I can't make that work.
Hey, I heard an interesting Mark Zaid story. So there's a video on YouTube where he's, it's kind of boring where he's talking about it, but he gets into this story where he's bragging about how he knows DC comic lawyers and all of this. And he tells how he owns a really rare comic book. He bought it. It was stolen. But since he knows all of the DC comic lawyers, he's like, they haven't asked for it back. And, I don't think I'm going to get in trouble. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. It's out there. I downloaded it for posterity. But he's bragging about like some rare comic that, like I said, he owns very illegally.
Wow. This guy needs to be stopped. He needs to be stopped from digging up corpses. He needs to be stopped from stealing comics and defending Mark Waid. Earth Citizen 9 says, I just got done reading Iron Sights earlier today. Loved it. I got the impression that the writer either missed combat or missed being a soldier. Mark Waid fucked with the wrong comic pro. Me thanks. Has anyone in here read Iron Sights yet?
I haven't yet.
I did.
But I heard it was good.
Yeah,
you did read it.
I thought he did really, really good with it, to be honest.
Tell me about it. What's your review? Have you done a review?
I have not yet. I'm going to do a review of it. I went and on his Patreon as well. I don't know if people have noticed, but he has a digital copy, so you can go and check out what he did. If people did not pick it up, they can at least look at it. And I was going to use it to break down part of it for review. But I thought his story was actually good. It's the one that they've like Gail Simone and others have picked on. They've tried to make fun of the way that it's written and on. I thought his characterization was actually good. I thought the story was involved. It is everything that their stories really aren't. It was entertaining. I would buy it again.
Wow. All right. I haven't seen it yet. I have not read it. I would really like to read it. I'm going to see if I can get it.
What's the premise of it, if I can ask without giving them any story? Like major story.
Yeah, you're dealing with like a cartel, basically. I mean,
okay.
It's actually a pretty lengthy story as well. Like you're not going to feel skimped on it or anything else. I thought it went into a lot of detail. Like I said, it was a lot more than I expected. Zach actually made me feel like it wouldn't be that much. For the whole time, I even mentioned that to him when he was selling it. He's like, it's not as good as Jawbreakers. I was like, okay, so it's not going to be as good. No, well, I hope Jawbreakers must be phenomenal because I really liked Iron Sights.
That's good.
Yeah, I like it too. I'm pretty impressed. He got that thing going, and he paid for it all the while he was working on just doing his videos every single day. He worked on getting that thing done. I'm in deep with Mark Zaid stuff here, and I'm gonna have to put together a whole show about him. Apparently, he solved the DB Cooper mystery. He is involved with the JFK assassination. He believes. Yeah, this is all stuff I got to put together into a big article. He has he believes that UFOs shot down Columbia, the shuttle Columbia space shuttle. He's got a freedom of information. What in the world is he talking about here? Hold on a second. This is crazy.
His name seems like a conspiracy. It's like Wade and Zaid. I mean, at first when I heard that, I thought it's not that Mark Zaid. It's really, Mark Wade in a mustache. So even thinking of his name in this hiring, maybe he took that on. He wanted another conspiracy theory.
He thinks the government is apparently he thinks, he's a conspiracy freak. This is cartoonish. Let's see here. Larry W. Bryant to the administrator of NASA. According to recent news accounts, certain NASA officials are withholding from public view various insider interview transcripts collected by and for the specially commissioned board to investigate the space shuttle Columbia disaster. In an effort, I can't do this, dude. He believes in ancient aliens, and oh my god. Oh, this is perfect. This is just fantastic. This is fantastic. I got to do a whole video about this guy.
A whole video, man. It sounds like you could do a series on this guy. He actually sounds like a lot of fun, to be honest.
I want to drink with this dude. I want to be like, yo, and I want to talk about stuff. This is great.
Like, if he wasn't, if he didn't reflect that persona out there, if he wasn't tied into all of that, I sometimes wonder, he talks about like in his videos, he has a few other videos, and he sells, he's got this big comic grading system and just all this other stuff involved in comics. And I wonder sometimes if the show he's putting on, if it's because he's the center of attention for all of these people within the industry. He's like, it's, they're basking. I'm basking in all this glory from these people. I mean, he reminds me of many other people that you see backing that Mark Wade GoFundMe. I mean, they sound the same way. I read a comic book 17 years ago. Therefore, Mark Wade's the best person ever.
Yeah. He's constantly attacking the CIA. Oh wow, this guy's amazing. I'm reading article after article about that. I shouldn't be doing this in the middle of I shouldn't be doing this in the middle of a show, but this is the umbrella guy. This is a ton of videos here. There's a ton of potential videos here.
That's what I'm hearing right now. I think you've stumbled onto. See, this is like when you first started out all of your stuff too. I don't know if a lot of people have gone back and listened to your older live streams. You used to talk about conspiracy, and you used to talk about all of that. You get excited about it. I mean, that's what I used to love tuning in for that. So man, here you are. This is a great series. You get to mix in what's going on, and you get to talk about how either Mark Zaid is interesting or he's batshit insane. One or the other, but either way, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think he's both, honestly. Yeah. All right, so let's change the topic, I guess. Here, I don't know. I could really talk about that all day long, but I need to I'm going to make a video about John Wilkes Booth, I think, because I want to find out more about what happened. Was he able to exhume John Wilkes Booth in 1994? I don't know.
Yeah. Probably got him in his living room, I don't know.
Oh my God. All right. So let's talk about this guy. I don't know if this is important or not now. This pales in comparison to that story. I lost where it was here. Let's scroll down. Oh God, Ryan Johnson. Oh my God. They're saying his trilogy is going forward. It's definitely going to happen. And I'm just like,
trilogy for.
Yeah, not good. Brian Young blames geeks and gamers and EVS for whipping fans into a frenzy. Hell yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars insider, contributor, and demonstrated liar Brian Young recently took to Twitter to publicly attack the Trump administration, Gamergators, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and Ethan Van Sciver of Comic Artist Pro Secrets. So that's it. That's all of us right there. Attack the Trump administration and me. You know.
What did he say?
I don't know. Let's find out. Look at him. Why would you let yourself be? Why would you?
Yeah. That's
Why did he?
Yeah, I mean, he decided on that pose. It's not just he let himself. I mean, he did that on purpose.
Yeah, it's like these guys. I'm telling you, all these male feminists do these like twee little effeminate things. They do the mouth open, like the Soylent Grin thing that they do. Oh, the Soylent Grin, or they do this where it's just like, see, I'm harmless. I'm a little pixie. I'm not out to hurt anyone. In the meantime, they're like seething with just violence against, women, and oh God, they're awful. And then they have, look at this. Here's a cute little cartoon of me. It's fun. I'm cute. Brian Young, Swank Motron. It's troubling to see the Trump administration and Gamergators using the same playbook as far as inciting harassment and violence. That playbook that Brian Young refers to are the phases of the Geekergate. That was a great article. Did you do a video about this, Umbrella Guy?
I'm not yet.
Phases of the Geekergate. This sums it all up. I mean, this is like, this is how they do what they do. Okay, so it's like, here's how for people who are asking, like, how does Comicsgate, why is it a movement, and what are we fighting against? Well, left wingers kind of infiltrate hobbies, and you'll recognize this as we go through this. They infiltrate hobbies, and they take it over, and basically they destroy it from the inside out. And this is how they do it. Phases of a Geekergate. So this is how Comicsgate happened. Gamergate, of course. They're doing it with Dungeons and Dragons. They're doing it with Star Wars. They're doing it with Warhammer 40K. And you'll notice all this. So phase 1, SJW criticism. A popular IP is criticized by SJWs for being racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobic, and a smattering of other things. This will often manifest in media articles and academic papers, which will push this false narrative. This phase can take place over the course of years or even decades. So, it all started out with comics. Do you remember Milo? Not Milo. What was his name? Milo Manero, and Frank Cho, and all of this. Oh, the way they draw women is sexist. Mm-hmm. It's a real problem in the industry. They're not hiring enough women. They're not hiring enough people of color. And the way that they treat women in the comics, they refrigerate them. They throw women in refrigerators with the lunch meat, chop them up. And things really need to change. That's SJW criticism. So when you think about Gail Simone, women in refrigerators, phase 1.
And right? They're academic, you're talking about, with the way that they rig stats, like all of their stats. Hey, look at the changing demographic of all of the fans, even though they're looking at, Facebook likes and mentions. Oh, you said the word DC, that means comic books, or you use the word Marvel. Well, that means you buy comic books now.
Right. All right. So here's phase 2, Umbrella Guy. Tell me if you recognize this. IP is about to undergo reboot, or a reimagining, or remake, or whatever term is fashionable at the time. The rebooted project will tout firsts: first female, first person of color, first LGBTQ, plus, etc., even if the IP has already had them before. They do this to contrast their new version as far more virtuous and progressive than the previous version, which they spent years or decades labeling as racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobic, etc. So you start to see these new replacement characters come on, okay? And they're like, hey, look, Captain Marvel, Carl Manvers, is the first powerful woman superhero, and it's about time. and you go, what? There have always been powerful women superheroes. No, not like this. And here's the first gay character. Well, we've had gay characters. No, not like this.
Yeah, look at Iceman, but wait a minute, not
Right. Iceman rebooted. Yay. And then phase 3 is the barnacling. SJW's barnacle, you know what that means. They're on the boats. I mean, they're, barnacle themselves to the IP. Okay. They're like mold. They're like fungus. They're like seaweed barnacles to the IP within the production and start transforming the IP from its original form. SJWs sometimes refer to this strategy as entryism. Production staff make claims that longtime customers will stay with the IP no matter what the changes are. SJWs outside the production barnacle themselves to the customer base, start lecturing longtime customers. Shill media SJWs write articles pontificating about how diversity is good business and touting diversity first, without regard to the fact that the IP may have already been diverse for years or decades. Customer criticism, phase 4. Longtime customers of IP voice legitimate criticism of the new direction. That's Umbrella Guy. Okay. That is diversity in comics. That was Captain Cummings. I saw he did another video the other day. He went live. I was happy to see him. Yeah. I watched his video. I was like, come on.
He started covering, he's not covering comics anymore as far as I can see.
Yeah. He was, I don't know. I wish he'd come back. But might never happen. So customer criticism, that is when, the customers rise up. They do it on Twitter. They will do it on YouTube with YouTube channels like Yellow Flash, like Umbrella Guy. Phase 5, SJW response to customer criticism. A large customer backlash is created when SJWs, both inside of the production and outside of it, in the customer base and shill media, falsely accuse critics of being racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobic, etc., usually to protect the criticized political message being pushed by the newly transformed IP that the customer base is criticizing. SJWs will also attempt to stigmatize use of the term SJW as a pejorative, so that you're unable to identify the problem and articulate points. Have you guys noticed this?
Oh, yeah.
I have.
It's like, this is exactly what they do. It's exactly what they do. Ben, are you here? Ben Hennessy?
Hey, I am, man. I got the link.
All right.
Done trick-or-treating.
Good. All right, so we're going through how this happens. People are confused about this. So let's you start to hear them say, if you're someone who uses the word SJW unironically, F you, I have no time for it. Okay, that's what they say, and you just have to say F you. You are an SJW. The reason why they do that is because it's a control of the language. SJW identifies them. If you can't put a label on something, normal people can identify it. If you can say, hey, this sweet carbonated drink that you have is called Coca-Cola. People then know, well, it's Coca-Cola, and they know what it is. But it's SJWs. Everybody knows what an SJW is. They encounter them every single day. But if you didn't have a label for them, people wouldn't be able to say, hey, asshole, you're an SJW. So it's important that they actually make it impossible or unpleasant or inconvenient socially to use the word SJW. SJWs will completely ignore female, people of color, and LGBTQ critics and or marginalize their voices. Is that right, Antonio?
It is right. It is very, very right.
Yeah, I got a theory on that too, man. Like it's still that I talked to Antonio about it too, but it's almost like that white knight mentality. Like here we are to save the day all over again. And it's like it's no different, man. And it's just the other side of the playing field. You know what I mean? It's like you're not the spokesperson for. And I hate marginalized. It's like I'm not marginalized, man. I'm a black man in America. You know, I got a name. Doggone it. Don't call me marginalized. That's no different than calling me the N-word.
Right.
I have a theory about that. I think it's started by Gail Simone because she's obsessed with butter. That's why we go with marginalized.
Well, yeah, that's what they'll do. So we'll say, hey, we have, look, Kanan White, for example, is a black man. He's in Comicsgate. He agrees with us. Yeah, well, he's an Uncle Tom then, and he's, how dare you? And then, they'll sort of push you off and say that you don't matter. They will marginalize an already marginalized group, in their opinion. It's amazing how they do that. So it is. So
save me.
Yeah, I know. You guys are supposed to just be putting yourselves in their hands, I guess, and not having an opinion about anything. Phase 6, dismissing and ignoring the backlash. Shill Media publishes pieces declaring that the backlash doesn't exist. Shill Media also publishes pieces instructing others to ignore the tiny, quote, tiny vocal minority. How do you like that? Oh, you sons of it. Some of whom used to be the old gatekeepers of the community. Suppressing the backlash. Blogs, internet forums, social media, and other websites delete or otherwise redact critical comments and posts in discussion forums under the aegis of hate speech, and may even engage in the complete banning of accounts. Some websites remove their comment sections altogether, and we've seen all that happen too, haven't we?
Yep.
You're not allowed to. They will remove on CBR. They'll remove your thread about diversity in comics or Comicsgate. They say
and they all have refused to mention any articles about your campaign, the huge successes that we've had. Nothing. Peep, silence. What's that?
Right. Of course. So backlash intensifies as an inevitable side effect of suppression. The Streisand effect takes hold as customers seek out other venues to express their criticism, and some publish their own, growing the backlash exponentially. Okay, so that's us growing. That's Comicsgate getting bigger. And then here we go. Hate hoaxes, false flags, and cloned accounts. This is when they really get nasty. The rank and file SJW activists and the customer base get heavily involved in shouting down critics and creating hate hoaxes and false flags in an effort to discredit those critics.
Wow.
Some efforts are also intended to be picked up by shill media outlets. Do you remember when Marcia Cook came out and started yelling at us?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was, we're attacking Marcia Cook. That was all planned. All of this is organized. They do this on purpose. SJW, that's why I was like very careful to be like, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yeah. Because you can't. If you do anything, if you lose your temper or lose your cool, they've got those screenshots forever. This is all a plan. It's all a plan. SJWs will create cloned social media and discussion forum accounts that mimic known critical voices in an attempt to discredit them, and or divert payments, donations for products or causes away from the critical customer. SJWs will often operate hidden forums where these tactics are organized. Okay, so this all must sound familiar to you. I mean, we're going through this right now.
Very familiar.
10. Escalation of attacks. SJWs will report posts as spam or a violation of rules and attempt to get social media accounts suspended and posts deleted. SJWs will start to send out false press releases to rival websites in an effort to discredit their critical competitors. SJWs will begin to search through public records such as child support or foreclosures. Hello. In an effort to embarrass loud voices, a practice known as doxing. Okay. That happened to Richard C. Meyer. The foreclosures happened to me. All right. SJWs will send out phishing attempts in an effort to gain personal information. SJWs may attempt to contact the workplaces of loud voices. Hi, Umbrella Guy.
Yeah, I wonder what that happened.
Right. In an attempt to punish critical customers financially for speaking out. SJWs may attack normal people with physical violence. Jeremy Hambley. IP failures. The IP starts to falter as customers start to drift away and sales begin to plummet. This is either due to a drop in quality of the IP or the poor treatment of the customers or a combination of both. Now, this is the ultimate right here, and you can identify this every single time. Number 12, the damsel in distress. A female member of the production, it could be a member of the LGBTQ community, is granted victim status over a fishy event in order to deflect from the failures of the IP and shame critical customers into silence. The damsel in distress is used as a political pawn, both by the SJWs inside the IP and the SJWs outside the IP and the customer base and shill media. If the first damsel in distress doesn't quite work, another one will come along. So you want to list these? We've got Zoe Quinn and we've got Brianna Wu for Gamergate. In Comicsgate, we have Heather Antos, don't we?
We have Zoe Quinn too. We even imported, a damsel.
Oh yeah, Zoe Quinn over it in comics, okay? But especially Heather Antos. Heather Antos is the main one in comics. In Star Wars, we have Kelly Marie Tran, and it's amazing. I'm experiencing both Comicsgate and Star Wars Gate, and watching the Kelly Marie Tran thing happen was unbelievable. It's creepy. One Twitter account with like 4,000 followers called Star Wars News, okay? Not officially part of Lucasfilm, comes out with this one little tidbit, one little tweet that says Kelly Marie Tran has deleted her Instagram account due to harassment online. Okay. No quote from her, nothing. And then suddenly all of these news articles come out that are quoting that tweet and saying, well, we don't have a quote from her. We haven't asked her, but apparently this is the case. Every single garbage tier media outlet posted, wrote articles about Kelly Marie Tran leaving her Instagram because she was under attack and harassment. And all of them at first, all of these articles at first admitted that they had no information, no corroboration except for this one tweet. And then the second tier of articles stopped saying that and only said Kelly Marie Tran left social media because she was harassed. Incredible. I watched it happen and I just said, holy shit. So, yeah, the damsel in distress. Now, Kelly Marie Tran works on me because I cut up a Rose Tico action figure. So it's like, Ethan is the reason why Kelly Marie Tran. Whoever they want to shut up, that's what they'll do. And they do it everywhere. You know, for Magic the Gathering, they had a cosplayer come out and say she was going to quit being a cosplayer because Jeremy Hambley, critic of Magic the Gathering being overtaken by SJWs, once said that cosplay is just lingerie and maybe she shouldn't be collecting money from lonely 20-year-old men for pictures. That's all he said. She left like in phony tears, and Jeremy was attacked from all sides by people saying that he was harassing women. So damsel in distress, that is when you get to this point, you know, you are, you know where you're at, and they do this deliberately. There's no evidence of it ever. There's, you know, I think they tried to I think Marcia Cook might've been a damsel in distress too. I think they tried to make her one. Didn't really work that well.
She disappeared.
Yeah, she disappeared, and they really didn't get the quote that they were looking for. And I knew what was going on, and we countered it every time. I mean, it's like, well, we have the evidence. You can see me and Billy Tucci coming out and saying, yeah, I think Darwin Cook might have been Comicsgate. You know, he believed in this kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's a tweet from Marcia Cook calling the entire Comicsgate community. And by the way, her name is not Marcia Cook. It's the nicest girl ever. So nobody knew who she was. Calling the entire Comicsgate community idiots, assholes, dickheads.
It looked just like another troll. It looked just like every other attack every other day.
Very strategically done. And then, of course, Comicsgaters saw that tweet and said, fuck you. And then before you know it, she's claiming victimhood, you know, over that. Because it's like, don't you understand? I'm a widow. Nobody knew. And plus, these kids who Comicsgaters oftentimes are kids. They didn't even know who Darwin Cook was. They weren't around for Darwin Cook. So, they didn't understand what you were doing. They just saw somebody calling them names. But it was a nice try. I think they were trying to get me to do something and go off. But I'm a very cool customer. I don't really lose my temper. 13, desperate pleas for community management. White Knights in the shill media call for creative authorities to smack down the backlash and restore control of the narrative in response to the damsel in distress event. Shill media publishes multiple articles with the same talking points and catchphrases, such as toxic fan base or bad faith, in an effort to mischaracterize the customer base. Major news outlets report on the story and quote those think pieces as authoritative. And 14, answering the call, celebrity and creative cast and crew SJWs inside of the IP answer the shill media's call. Boy, did this happen in Star Wars. Mark Hamill came out, and it's so demoralizing. It's like, oh my God, like, how does this all work? Like, who's behind all this? Who's behind all this?
At that level, I would believe there's a marketing and PR department saying, "Hey, you got to say this, you got to do that."
Yeah, I was doing the same thing, Bill. I was talking to Antonio about it. It's funny how it was like, you know, where Joe Quezada and all these individuals coming on Twitter, you know, really attacking us, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. Like it was like
Yeah.
they just like disappear. And I think, like you said, Bill, they, because of the threat of, coming from the top, man, they had to say something just so it looked like they saved face. And then once they were in good standings again, then it was like, okay, cool. Now go back to my regular schedule program on In Progress kind of thing.
Yeah. So this is the thing. So they'll get, by the way, this happened in comics recently too, didn't it? Joe Quesada came out. Hey, we need you all to answer the call. Which pros are going to come out and denounce Comicsgate?
Yeah.
So which pros are going to do that? And then you start to see a couple of pros trickle out, like big name pros, and just say Comicsgate, needs to stop. And those are celebrities, creative cast and crew, SJWs inside the IP, doing what the shill media wants them to do. Come out and make public statements admonishing Comicsgate, typically over false accusations. You harass women and trans, so you must be stopped.
So those don't become false accusation; it becomes slander. That becomes people with 2 million followers or 200,000 followers saying that we're alt-right, which is a very loaded, awful term today. I mean, it's nothing any of us has adopted. That is where the legal liability comes from.
Yeah. But this is all what it's about. Critical customers will respond to the admonishments, and SJWs will call that response abuse and or harassment. The word harassment, I wish I could trebuchet that word to the moon. I really do. I fucking hate the word harassment at this point. It's so annoying. Sometimes alluding to the notion that creatives deserve special consideration. Joe Quesada actually said that. He said it to John Malin. He said, back up your creative, back up your creative peers.
Why don't they back us up? Indie creators. Where's the backup?
We're supposed to, because we're criticizing what's going on with the SJWs within the industry, and we are creative people ourselves and professionals. We are supposed to side with our abusive fellow professionals against the fans.
Is that it?
It's a code. It's omerta. We're supposed to, we're supposed to say, fuck the fans. We're with Joe Quesada and all these people. That's the thing.
Those days are done.
Yeah. It's all pretty transparent. So creatives deserve special consideration. Remember, what SJWs call abuse and or harassment, when customers do it, they call activism when they do it. So it's activism when they do it. The final push. Shill media entities and rank and file SJWs tell longtime customers to go find something else if they don't like it anymore, in a last-ditch effort to push critics out of the community once and for all. Don't like it? Don't buy it. Okay? 16, the IP is bleeding. The IP starts to hemorrhage money as longtime customers begin to abandon the IP in droves. Customer base obliteration. The customer base is utterly destroyed, leaving behind only the small handful of SJWs who don't make any purchases. The end. A new incarnation of the IP comes to an end. Since the majority of the customer base has abandoned it, there's no more controversy or discussion about it. It's over. The best case scenario is that the original IP is largely forgotten, with the exception of a few diehards who still carry the torch. The worst case scenario is that the new incarnation of the IP overwrites the original, and the original IP is forgotten altogether and overshadowed by the new incarnation, and in all future shill media mentions. Migration. The SJW is primarily interested in popular IPs that have a large audience, which can serve as a vehicle to spread their political message as widely as possible. Therefore, the remaining SJWs jump ship from the decimated IP to devour a new IP that is popular and undergoing a transitional phase that they can barnacle themselves onto through entryism. And that's happening to Pokemon right now. Get ready for that. Number 20, rebirth. The process begins again with the newly targeted IP, Pokemon. If normal creators have jumped ship from the targeted IP and start fresh in their own endeavors, SJWs will chase them down on the internet and in real life to endlessly harass them in an effort to destroy their ability to make a new effort at a success. The new effort will be maligned with the help of the SJW legacy media. This is what is happening to Comicsgate. That's what it is.
It's amazing to see it happen. I was fishing 2 Sundays ago, and Gail Simone was attacking Ravage out of nowhere. I get all these flurries of texts that Gail Simone's calling us goody birds and
Goody birds.
whatever it was. I couldn't believe it, man.
Find out what a goody bird is. I mean, is there any consensus on what the hell that means?
I asked Gail nicely. Gail nicely. Come on, Gail. I'll donate to your favorite charity. I'm a nice guy. Just tell me what goody birds are. If this is a psychological ploy, bravo, because it's been in my head, Gail. What goody birds are, I'd love to find out. But no, I have no answer.
Keith Strick says they're going after all anime. Yeah, they will. They'll go after whatever's popular. Anime is bigger than superhero right now. So
what could they do to Pokemon?
They will invade it. I don't really know. They will make it social justice warrior. Look at what could they do to Thundercats? Right. What could they do to She-Ra? They will find something irritating to do and to destroy it.
See, that's crazy because anime is like the most open-ended and the most like accepting of and open. I mean, that's like, you know,
that's what I'm saying. It's pure fantasy. Like, what's offensive about the Pokemon? My kid, like, what is it? What's the problem?
That's why Ethan's right on saying that they'll go after Pokemon before they go after all anime, because Pokemon is for kids and a lot more blue hairs like it, whereas anime is just got a real broader stamp, a lot more fronts to fight.
Yeah, well, anime, see, they have positions in the U.S. The thing isn't like the Japanese company. What they've done is they've managed to build U.S. company, and they've actually done different things within translation. For example, they've changed up things and actually put in social justice messaging. There's some crazy stuff. If you look up Anime Gate, I mean, some of this stuff, anime fans say this can't happen to our stuff. It's already happening. I hate to tell you, but it's already happening.
Yeah. Welcome, Doug Tenaple, by the way. Glad to see you here.
Happy Halloween, my friends. I come to bring pumpkin cheer.
Yeah. Oh, good. We're happy to have you here. Doug Tenaple, 1,621 people watching right now. Excited about Doug. Hey, Doug, you look like Abraham Lincoln again today.
Yeah, I got my no mustache is going down.
Hey, wait, watch out for Mark Zaid then, about his about that assassin and all that.
I'm here. Yeah. I'm actually taking scuba. I got scuba certified. It's official today. I'm scuba certified.
Congratulations.
So I shaved the mustache to be able to get the mask on without crushing all this hair and letting water in. So, but now I like the look. So now I'm keeping the Abe Lincoln. I think we're going with that.
Well, you missed the beginning of the show because it's Halloween. We told a few spooky stories. One of them was about Mark Waid's attorney, Mark Zaid, who you might not have known this, but in 1994, he led a legal crusade to exhume John Wilkes Booth for his family.
Necromancy.
Yeah, pretty much to dig him up and just make sure, because Mark Zaid was of the opinion that John Wilkes Booth didn't die in 1865. He lived another 40 years and died in Enid, Oklahoma. He wanted to dig up John Wilkes Booth's corpse and do all this medical testing on it, DNA. He believed he had DNA of the real John Wilkes Booth that would prove once and for all for John Wilkes Booth's family the truth about their beloved historical.
Weird. Yeah,
it is weird.
It's awesome that you're saying this, and it's true. I mean, you don't even have to make up stuff about it.
He didn't just want to clear the name of any old zombie. He wanted to clear the name of a zombie that there was a murderer.
A murderer of Republicans. The greatest anti-Republican, the biggest SJW in the world, John Wilkes Booth. We got to clear his name, evidently. That is who Mark Zaid is. And the more research I do on him, he believes that UFOs shot down the space shuttle Columbia. He is subpoenaing the CIA for documents about that and a bunch of other stuff. So I will be doing more videos about.
And is this the guy that Mark Waid's going to pay his $70,000 to? He's going to flush it down UFO toilet?
I think so. I think so. This guy's
smart guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested now. I kind of want to get him on the show. He's got a long history of just conspiratorial, like being on the History Channel to talk about ancient aliens building the pyramids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I gotta find that episode now. I mean, that would be an awesome video series introduction with him talking about that.
Yeah. I wonder. I guess he probably sees himself as like David Duchovny. You know, he's like. I'll bet you he does.
The Zayd Files.
Probably does.
Johnny Cochran,
Older.
like
Oh,
a
man,
Hollywood
that's
lawyer,
terrible.
you know,
Yeah.
personality lawyer.
Personality lawyer.
Personality lawyer. You know, they're always the ones that they're always calling. Who's the lady that they're always calling on Peterson trial and all that? She's always, well, you know what I'm talking about. The lady lawyer they're all calling on the left.
What's her name? Gloria.
Gloria Allred, man. It's like
Gloria Allred.
dial a lawyer right there.
Her daughter too. Her daughter is the one that's trying to sue 50 Cent.
Yep.
Yeah. Her daughter. Yeah, they got a family business going there.
Unbelievable. So good stuff. Anyway, I wanted to just make this clear. A lot of people are asking, you know, what is Comicsgate and why does it exist? So I had to go through this and explain exactly what had happened to comics. The same thing happened to Star Wars. The same thing is happening to Star Wars. It's currently, you know, we're underway. We're about 3/4 of the way through Star Wars Gate. Same thing happened to pretty much everything. Pretty much all of these kind of you know, geeky hobbies get invaded by SJWs, and it's unappreciated. It's unappreciated, but they all follow the same pattern. You know. Same pattern of you know, invasion and hey, you know, we have to change things because this is racist, that's sexist, etc., etc. That's what Comicsgate is fighting against. So now that you know that, now that we've gone through that, and some people are like, oh, that's lengthy and boring. Well, it's good to know. It's good to read that and know so that you understand what they're doing and what, you know, what comes next, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Retrographics book says Comicsgate is controlled opposition, and Zach is a CIA operative. EVS, Wade, and Ren are all in bed together. Ew.
That's pretty gross.
Is that a Bermuda's Triangle thing or whatever?
That's that would be a Bermuda Triangle. I would hope I would never be seen again if that were the case.
I wouldn't know what a Bermuda's Triangle was without the news, without the mainstream media and the left, you know.
I would like to fire SJWs right into the Bermuda Triangle. I think that would be a good way to, you know, if we can't get them to Mars, maybe we can fire them, trebuchet them into the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, see where they're going. See whatever happens with them. They can maybe write us a letter. But all right, so I just got done reading Iron Slates earlier today. Loved it. Got the impression that the writer either missed combat or missed being a soldier. Mark Waid fucked with the wrong comics pro. I agree. The other says, for £2, the other, thank you. Happy Frightened America Day from across the pond. You know, they don't have Halloween in other countries, really. In England, they don't really celebrate it, except it's like American culture that worked its way overseas. They've seen the movies, and so some of them do it. But they have kind of a grossed out attitude about it in England.
That's because they don't have enough prosperity like we do to give away free food. It's like they're also limited resources. We're so prosperous. We got food. We got candy to give away. You come to our door. Here's some free. Here's a big bowl of candy.
Well,
we just give it away.
Yeah. Well, no, but I've heard the English talk about how gross it was to like be putting spider webs and spiders and you know what I mean, and bones all over everything. They think that's like hideous. It makes you sick.
But when we put in our fake messed up teeth, they think that we're complimenting them.
Oh, stop
They
it.
go, oh right. Now you're pretty. Now you're correct. With big old donkey teeth all brown and twisted up.
Simon Oliver says you're a moron, and he says wrong. Wrong. Simon Oliver, you have the most British name in the world. Where am I wrong? Where am I wrong about that? I've actually heard British people say exactly what I'm saying. And by the way, and yeah, like Halloween is seen as very much an American thing, part of American culture. That if it is celebrated in the UK, it's because they've seen the movies. You want to correct me on that? I would like a long post from you to correct me,
please.
Yeah, please. I appreciate being called a moron. I do, but I would just like, if I'm wrong, I'd like to know why.
Just cause.
Just cause.
Actually, you may be right and still be a moron. So it might just have nothing to do with the argument.
Yeah, I'm not disputing the moron thing. I'm just disputing the wrong thing.
Oh, okay.
You know? That's what I'm saying.
True.
Yeah. No, I don't see an answer. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's see. Benjamin Random says, if you're going to sue people who defame, would this include suing Max Bemis for naming one of his villains after Doug Ernst?
He did that?
I think that would be satire, right? That isn't saying Ernst is alt-right, or that's like us saying, well, they're domestic terrorists or they support ISIS, right? That's as defamatory. I think satire is satire. That's my take on it.
Yeah, oh no, Simon Oliver says I was calling Doug a moron.
Then how dare you? Then how dare you?
Simon. I wish I could high five Simon Oliver from over the pond. Good.
Yeah,
Good
I mean, Pete English show he'd miss because they don't have any rhythm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Oh man, I'm 100% into the UK. I swear to God, all I do is watch British shows. Absolutely fabulous.
I moved to Scotland in a heartbeat.
One foot in the grave. What are other good British shows that I like over there?
The Old Office, the original Office.
Oh my God, yeah.
That was really good. Yeah.
Anything Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Anything Ricky Gervais is good.
Extras. Did you watch Extras? I
loved Extras. He's got such heart, man. He really pushes the boundaries, and he's underneath it is just great big beating heart, and absolutely love Ricky Gervais. But yeah, I mean, most of my DVD comedy shelf is like British television shows. And so I am a big Anglophile, and most of my music is British as well. Except for the Beach Boys. By the way, I'm going to see Brian Wilson tomorrow night, front row.
Oh.
So I'm going to bring you guys. I'm going to live stream from Brian Wilson. Like I said, I will be in the front row, so you will get to see America's modern Mozart, I would say. And that's kind of how people refer to him now. I mean, it's like America. Listen, we've done some good stuff, but I mean, when it comes to music, modern day masters, Brian Wilson is an absolute genius, and an opportunity to actually see him live from the front row, real close up, and watch him perform songs like California Girls, et cetera, et cetera. I think you guys might enjoy that. So I am going to get drunk and live stream from Brian Wilson. I don't think I will sing at him in the same way I sang at Frankie Valli. Cecil's Acolyte says Beach Boys suck. F you, Cecil's Acolyte. The Beach Boys are the greatest. They are the American Beatles. And any Dynamo says Billy Joel is better than Brian Wilson.
He's East Coast, bro. You can't throw him under.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to argue that. That's a matter of opinion. Billy, I don't like much of Billy Joel's music, but I respect him.
He can write a hook.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when this is the thing, I listened to Uptown Girls. When I first heard Uptown Girls, and for the longest time, I was like, "Oh my God, this is corny shit." But then I realized, I was like, "Oh no, wait a second. Billy Joel was writing these songs for Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons, and I love Frankie Valli." So you actually picture Uptown Girl sung by Frankie Valli, and you're like, if Frankie Valli did this song, this would have been his biggest hit of all time. It would have been so good and so cool. And there's actually a video of Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons performing Uptown Girl for Billy Joel. It's some kind of tribute thing. And it's like,
I like those songs. I like For the Longest Time and Uptown.
Oh, yeah.
I like the doo-wop in it. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are great songs to me.
Yeah.
Songs.
Well, when I'm going to start doing this, I think for Wrecked Planet, when we do the Cyberfrog thing, I'm going to have music videos showing artwork. Like preview artwork to get like a trailer kind of thing for the next Cyberfrog book. And Uptown Girl, I'm gonna have that playing I'm gonna show you basically the preview art of what happened to Heather in between, when Cyberfrog was stung and put into hibernation. So Uptown Girl will be playing while she flees for her life from the swarm. And I just think it should be so badass. It should be so amazing.
Yeah.
That song against horror, the end of the world.
There's always a crush of the frog of the mutant with the unattainable girl. And Uptown Girl is that. It's about she's above his class, so that's a perfect song in meaning to that plight, right? That fairy tale plight.
Yeah, I think in a way. Well, it's also you know, it's about wanting something that's unobtainable, wanting more for yourself too. But I like that song. I do like that song now. So it's like I kind of admit that I misunderstood Billy Joel and kind of didn't get him for most of my life. And the older I get, I'm sort of going, you know what? Maybe I didn't get Lionel Richie. You know what I mean? You know, I'll go back. Maybe I didn't get Billy Ocean, and I'll go back and just listen to some. Yeah. And you just start to realize these guys were really, really good, and you know, just because you hear it in the supermarket all the time doesn't mean it. I'm not doing the Eagles though, Doug.
Really?
No.
Well, you at least gave him a shot for us.
Yeah, they make me feel ill. I can't do it. They're so
Hotel California
songs that you like, not any.
I hate Hotel California. That is one of the. Oh my God, that's a terrible song.
Bryce and I went through their whole library with Ethan.
Have you ever tried them with pie? Maybe that
would change your mind.
Positive association works.
Yeah, I just, you know what? When I hear them, I just smell patchouli in the air, and I think about stinky, wimpy, hairy, unwashed white men whining about things. I don't want to. You know, no, thank you. L Argo 30 says, EVS, my world came tumbling down last night. I watched your interview with Mark Waid and was devastated to learn he came from my home state of Alabama. Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, we forgive you. You know, that interview is shocking. You know, the thing about it is that if you watch that interview and then watch the videos that I just made, like the Temper of Mark Waid. By the way, the Temper of Mark Waid, that video is doing incredibly good business right now. Yeah. People are watching that video.
It was great.
It was a good show. We did a good show, guys.
They haven't tried to flag it yet.
No, there's nothing you can really do to flag that video. It isn't harassment. I'm not being abusive. I'm speaking the truth. I saw Cully Hamner on Twitter saying this is nothing but the defamation and destruction of a man's career. What do you think this asshole did to my friend?
Right,
Richard C. Meyer. That's what this is all about. And I will never tell a lie about Mark Waid. I will never tell a lie about anyone. I'm not going to do that. I will tell the truth about Mark Waid, and the truth about Mark Waid will be enough to convict him in the public's minds. So when people watch that interview, watch the interview and the way I treated Mark Waid, and now with the benefit of 1 year, okay, you're finding out what actually happened behind the scenes before and after that interview. And you can make up your own mind. You can watch the way I treated him and watch the way he treated me in return and the way he talked to and treated the fans. You can make up your own mind.
And you know what? You took up for him. That's another thing. Like you tried to diffuse. You're like, I mean, he's acting like just an embittered ass out there for days. And you're like, you know, you can see the awkwardness there, but you're like, you know, what's going on here? But you're still trying to treat the guy with respect, even though people are like, this guy is treating us terribly. And, you know, you can tell you're empathizing with fandom and you're trying to stop him, and he's just a monster.
Hey, tiny bit of credit for him coming on. Tiny bit of credit.
Well, he came on strategically to try to undo us. See, that's what you don't understand. Sure. Like you know, everyone told him, if you go on there, you're just going to make Ethan Van Sciver look good. And Mark Waid's like, leave it to me. That's what he said to them. He said, leave it to me. And unfortunately, I am good, and I'm a good boy. I did nothing wrong. I treated him with respect. And I actually went out of my way to make him look good and to my fans. And then this asshole, after he accepts my invitation to come on my show where he's treated with extreme respect, sends me a message and says, I extended the olive branch to you, and you do this to me. Yeah. So you were extending an olive branch to me by accepting my invitation to be treated with respect and dignity on my show. Fascinating. You're an asshole. And you know, there's no question about it. You know, I will not lie about Mark Waid. I will not do anything. I don't need to. I can tell the truth about Mark Waid, and that's that'll be enough to convict him in the public mind.
Your watchers were really, I mean, very well behaved in too that day. I remember that very well. I remember watching it. Everybody was actually enthused. They thought, "Oh man, maybe Mark Waid is actually gonna, he's gonna act right here, and now, maybe this is going to actually, symbolize something new. Maybe something actually is happening." People were asking questions. They were engaging, but they were doing it positively. And then you listen to him in the aftermath, and you would think that people that are asking questions about, irredeemable and on were, slinging some kind of ism and all. It was baffling to listen to what he said versus sitting there, seeing excitement and people actually engaging and again, positively. It was just, you could tell he wanted to sabotage that thing.
Yeah, he did want to sabotage it. That is exactly right. His goal was to find a way to cause further distress and conflict. That was his goal. His goal was to just create a scandal from that, and he was unable to do it. And when he didn't know what to do. I mean, we got off the air and we had a nice friendly exchange between us immediately afterwards. And then he went online on Twitter, and he found apparently that his fans were not happy with him. They were not happy that he went on this show, and it was just a positive thing because it made us look good. It made Comicsgate, what was going to become Comicsgate, look good. And so somebody said, "Did you see?" I remember this vividly. It was so weird that he was so kind of upfront about this. Somebody sent him a tweet that just said, "Mark, did you know that the entire time that you were doing your interview, there was somebody in the chat named Mark Waid that was making fun of you?" And Mark Waid said he responded to that information, and the guy sent a picture, a screenshot. He tweeted back at him in all caps, "Thank you," like that. Like, "Thank you for giving me the shit that I need to turn this into hell. I need an excuse to be an asshole. Thank you for the excuse." And it was unreal. And that's, what I kept those tweets back. I kept that email back for a long time. Now at this point, it is vivid. It's a vivid illustration. It's proof of who he is and the way he behaves, what his temper looks like. So I don't know.
He doesn't seem like a very happy guy.
No, none of them do. Can you imagine every day? I tried to ask a couple of them, the couple of the trolls. I'm like, what is your end game? Do you want us all dead? Do you want us all not to create? Like, well, what do you wake up in the morning and do this for? And there was still no answer.
There's never an answer.
Never an answer.
Nope.
I admire the devotion in a way. I'm like, you get paid? Is somebody paying you?
Yeah. I always think about that. I'd be driving around and go, what if I had a car accident right now and was killed? Like, what would be said about me? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what would the industry say about me? And it's like, that all of those people would be celebrating my death.
Sure.
That's disturbing. It's just really, really disturbing. I don't like these people.
But they're only a freakish 5%. The rest would mourn and be normal humans. It is
less than 2,000 people. That's not a lot of people. I have more backers for Ravage than he has backers for his campaign. The Indiegogo the Mark Waid thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Slacker House says, "I would die." He died eating what he loved. What, the windshield? I'm talking about dying in a car accident.
He died eating windshield.
You just love glass, Ethan.
Yeah, I don't love that.
It was glass pie.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, let's see. Earth Citizen 09 says legal war chest. Oh, wait. Yeah. Legal war chest. Capital idea. Hail Caesar. Fucking do it. Let Wade's tears be a warning to the rest of their miserable kind. So, Doug, you weren't here for this, but here's what we're discussing. So, Zach is making a tremendous amount of money here for his lawsuit, and people don't want it to end. Now, Zach and I kind of talked earlier, and I said, "Do you want me to end this?" He's like, "I don't know. Should we end it?" I think I have more than enough money. And I kind of put it out to the chat. I put it out to Twitter and said, "What do you guys think? Do you want to close it down? Do you want to keep accumulating money for legal purposes?" And almost unanimously, people said, "Keep it open. We want to keep, throwing money at this."
Sure.
Nick Ricada said, "Well, I don't think this lawsuit shouldn't get to $100,000 in bills, but it might. You never know. So, keep it open." Now, if Zach wins, let's say Zach spends all $100,641 of this money on legal bills on his own case. If he wins, he's going to sue Mark Waid for all that money back. So this money will still exist.
Right.
What do we do with it? You know, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't. You know, it was meant for legal bills. I think it's kind of Comicsgate's war chest. I think what we should consider doing is having a legal war chest to sue, to hire lawyers to sue people for defamation. So people who wish to overtly call members of this community Nazis.
Yes.
People who wish to write articles referring to Comicsgate, this movement, as a hate group. We should sue them, and we should use that money to sue them.
I'd say one comic skater that's been saying that for a long time now, and I agree. I think it's the smart thing to do.
Well, Ben Hennessy suggested this, and he's, you know, of course, it's all about money. It's all about who. Right. The reason why people can call you a Nazi and can call you a hate group with consequence free is because it's so expensive to sue.
Right. And on the flip side, even if you have the money, the people that are doing this really don't have anything, you know. Now, $50 a month for the rest of somebody's life, that does add up, you know. But, you know, do you really want the time and energy to go to that? From my perspective, it's gotten so bad that the answer now is yes. You know, my business and my family's impacted. The answer is yes.
Yeah. I just wouldn't do use it for offense. I'd use it if someone else gets sued, have it be a Comicsgate legal defense fund is one thing you could do.
No, I would use it as offense. I'd use it as a legal offense fund.
All right. I know.
We're not.
I'm spitballing, bro.
Yeah, there are going to be very few occasions where we're going to find ourselves, you know, on the defense of things that we've done wrong, necessarily. But well, in a way, I mean, this is defense. We would like to defend our good name.
Sketch Therapy saying "Shut up, Doug" in the chat. Look at my brother's Sketch Therapy out there, all caps.
Yeah.
Legally, we have to start the documentation process. Letters need to be sent out. You know, calling us alt-right publicly, no, that's not acceptable. Calling us Nazis and blaming, you know, no, that's not acceptable. Keeping hidden treasure troves of our doxed information, no. Not leading threats, not acceptable. Death threats, no.
Okay, what about this?
Okay.
Let me spitball another one. I know you guys are done with my ideas, but I got another one.
All right.
Ethan, what if you became a curator and used it to go back into Comicsgate? You picked 10 campaigns to give 10 grand a piece to give them a little head start on stuff that you think is excellent and ought to succeed, and just give them. And so you could be. It's like a dream of being a little bit of a publisher. Keeps it in Comicsgate.
Well, I don't disagree with that idea. That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to
or 100 for 1,000. You know, I mean, what you could do.
No, we're going to have to build a comic book company eventually, but that's not what this money is for. Right. These people gave this money to protect their good name.
Right.
This money isn't for people like you could make comic books with that. No, that's not what people gave this money for.
Sure.
You know, we have other Indiegogo campaigns where we say, give us money and we'll make comic books for you. And that's a whole separate issue. These people gave this money over because they're tired of being bullied and pushed around by this SJW hate mob. They're tired of it. So how can we use this money to prevent that from happening, to discourage that from happening ever after? And I don't think too many people have thought of doing this because they just have never thought to raise the resources to do this.
Cecil's asking if he should get in. Cecil, get in.
Yeah. I think I gave him the link.
And it is easier said than done. I mean, God bless Richard for filing the lawsuit, doing the right thing, leading the charge. And we all need to defend each other and ourselves. It's just gone way too far. This is dirty business practices. If we all had pie shops, Ethan, if we all made pies, and I kept telling people, well, you know, Ethan's really Sweeney Todd. He chops people up and puts them in his pies. That's dirty business. You can't do that. It's illegal.
Well, you know, it does need to be used on the offense. So if somebody like, Kieran Shiak wants to write an article defaming us, defaming this organization, defaming this community as a hate group, we will sue. We will sue. We will sue them for defamation. We have the money to do it. And we will discourage anyone from doing it again.
And now
by the way,
people will-
Kanan, I'm sorry, I got to mute you. You're making a lot of noise, pal.
I was muting my mic. So I was trying to mute my mic. Sorry about that.
Every time you mute and unmute, it goes.
I know, but it shows a screen, and look at that leather jacket.
I love the screen. Yeah, I just feel like putting that up, and people.
Hey guys, I
can
gotta go and count the candy for the kids. So I'll catch you guys later.
Take care, Tug.
All right,
Hey, you got
Bye, Tug.
Have a good night.
goodies, Tug.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out.
Use the money to fumigate Doug's house with him in it.
With me in it. I'd vanish.
Donate $100 to Trump each time you're called a Nazi. Well, that would get rid of the money pretty quickly, wouldn't it? I mean, we might as well just
Did you get,
send-
hey, Ethan? Did you see Baby Bones came out? Yesterday, tweeting at me. With the old, I didn't do nothing. I did nothing. I'm innocent. I'm a good boy.
Well, from what I understand, his business has really taken a big hit since he went after us. And so he's quieted down a little bit, and that's fine. If you're going to quiet down, that's fine. Quiet down.
Yeah.
And again, it's like Jamal Igle said, don't start none and there won't be none.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of how we feel. We're just trying to do business. We don't want to do this, but we need to be able to protect ourselves, because it costs absolutely nothing for these people to say whatever they want to say about about our friends. It costs them absolutely nothing. It needs to start costing them something.
Right.
And our community has been good enough to give us the resources to be able to defend ourselves. Not only defend ourselves, but actually prosecute people who feel like it's okay to say things that would destroy normal people's lives.
And many of the creators that I've talked to, we all have the will to do it now. We're going to defend ourselves, defend our community, defend our artistic works. And it's not just going to stand. This aggression will not stand, man. We can't.
That's right. Yeah, that's how I feel. So anyway, that's my opinion. I as ever, it's like this is just something that I was thinking about today. I was talking about it today. I leave it open to the community. This is just everyone. I mean, the Comicsgate is so many people. It's so many interests. It's so many different creators. It's so many different fans and customers. We want to kind of make these decisions as a group. But I mean, defending our good name and not allowing people to call us a hate group out of hatred, out of just sheer hatred, is something that we should maybe prioritize a little bit more.
Right.
A little bit more. So
John Malin.
John Malin's back. The great John Malin.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, John Malin.
Hey, John.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
I owed a debt to Nasser to go and have a review on Sabrina, the Chilling Adventures of. So I had to fulfill that debt and get back over here. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. Heather C says, I agree, defamation is ridiculously hard to win, but there are other things that Comicsgaters can sue about. It's not even about winning, Heather. It's about just punishing them. Look, nobody wants to be sued. Nobody wants to be sued. It's expensive. It's a big deal. It takes up a big part of your life to defend yourself. How about if you just don't call us names, and then you won't have that problem? It's not about winning in court. I mean, I'm sure we would end up settling any of those lawsuits, but wouldn't it be much cheaper and easier just to, for them to just keep their big mouth shut and stop saying horrible things about the good people of this community? The culture war, how important is it to each one of these individuals that wants to get on Twitter and run their mouths? We'll find out. We would find out. It's just an idea. All right.
Right.
Yeah, no one wants to sue, but they can't think it's okay to defame. I think that's correct. I think that's just the attitude. Heather C says SJWs are too relentless. I don't know. They're being quiet right now. They're being very quiet.
Coming. Yeah, something's coming.
Yeah.
Well, they blew their wad. They just blew their wad.
I think they see the money and the seriousness, and they know that it's time for them to pay the piper. They've done too much. There's too much documented now of what they've done and what they've continue to do. It's not like something that it's ancient history. I mean, there's attacks on people's religion, attacks on people's political views daily.
Yeah. All right, let me read some more super chats here. Thank you guys for sending these super chats. This is very nice of you. definitely appreciate the support from the channel. Yeah, all right. So Earth Citizen says legal war chest capital idea. Cars in Depth says, what's more important, establishing a legal defense fund or supporting Comicsgate campaigns? Well, I think supporting Comicsgate campaigns is more important. It is more important, but we've already established this legal defense fund.
I think this is one of the same. The defense fund is supporting Comicsgate creators, or there will be no ability to be a Comicsgate creator.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what it's for. It's kind of the same vein.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, the Mark Waid lawsuit is important. If we lose the Mark Waid lawsuit, it's essentially open season,
right,
on Comicsgaters. You can interfere with their with all of everything that we do at will. Feel free. Jump on in and just make sure that we can't do business in whatever way that you choose. So we do have to win it. Is it more important than producing books? No, not as such. I mean, that's hard to quantify, but you know, you can't have one without the other. So, you know, I don't know. I listen to.
I think of lawsuits as so negative, and I think of creating new comics as being so positive that if you want Comicsgate to win, then I would be betting on strong, creative, hardcore books. And I know that's not what the money's for either, but I'm just thinking, man, that'd be huge. Or buy Nasser a giant $100,000 car.
I wouldn't do that.
That would
Nasser's going to make all his money off his new T-shirts that he has for sale.
I think the legal money should stay the legal money and stay separate from going into funding people, because then everyone's going to say who's picking, who's choosing. And it's a whole nightmare.
Yeah, but if it's Ethan, then they won't say anything.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
everybody loves that.
What do you mean by that? Like, what are you saying? Like, if it's me, what?
Let you pick who to fund.
Yeah, because that's going to go over perfectly.
No. Yeah, that's bad news. Like, somebody's like, why don't you delegate? No, we can't do that at all. People, here's the thing. Like, and I keep saying this: Comicsgate's going to be around for a long time. Anyone who wants to do their own comic book. Yeah, you're going to get a little boost if you do come on my show, but I'm only going to let you come on my show if I personally think your book is really, really good, or I think you're really funny or something like that. If it's just, you know, if you're a newbie, I'm sorry, you're going to have to develop your skill a little bit. And also, everyone needs to spend the year 2019 building your YouTube channel and your platform. Everyone needs to find creative ways to bring new audiences to comic books. Whatever you know about. If you know about something, if you, hey, you know, like, hey, I'm a big baseball fan or something like that, do a baseball show and mix it with comic books and bring baseball fans interested in your ideas over to look at your comic book. You have to expand the audience somehow, because when Anti-Comicsgate talks, they always talk from a zero-sum position. They're like, you guys are so small, and the entire industry here is all SJ. Well, even if that was true, the industry, the people that are buying your comics is so small. It's what's left. It's a melted ice cube. It's a melted iceberg. It's what's left after all the damage you've done. The world is a big place, and I can sell a comic book to anyone. Especially if it's pretty, it looks cool, it looks fun. I can sell a comic book to any average Joe out there. How do I reach those people? We need to actually build our audience and make a new audience that isn't siphoning off. I mean, we will siphon, definitely. We'll siphon some of the mainstream comic book audience. They're coming over here too. But we want to build our own brand new audience. And it's incumbent on all of us to do that individually. So you need to spend 2019 not bitching and complaining about whether or not you get on my show or John Malin's show or on Mike S. Miller's show or with Doug TenNapel. You need to build your own platform, and you need to do it creatively if you're going to succeed. So that should be Comicsgate in 2019. All right. So it's not about us having a big sum of money and then giving it to people. This isn't the welfare program. I don't want to become a welfare organization. I do want you guys to just become independent and powerful voices that can grow the audience. That's it. Just grow the audience, grow the fan base, and everybody can do it. You know, everybody can do it. Doug, what do you think of that?
I guess I'm so lawsuit averse, man. I just, you know. I feel like we'd dodge a bullet if you had that money left over. And there's a lot of good to be done in being prudent. I'm just saying I'm all for saving it for a legal defense fund, but going after people, I would never do that. That's all.
Doug, we don't want to go after people. Having nuclear weapons isn't about blowing up countries. It's about saying, you see all our big guns, see all our big missiles.
Sure. Yeah, I like that mutual insured destruction or a threat of defense. I'm all for that. But then it stays in the hole and is waiting to be used, so they know they can't.
Mark Wade is our Hiroshima.
Yes, exactly. This is what we can do. Yeah. Wow, John Malin, high five. That was awesome. That's exactly right. John's correct. Mark Wade is us saying this is what we can do to you. This is what we will do to you if you mistreat us. We're not out to hurt you. We just want to coexist. But we understand that there are hostile forces out there in this industry that want to see us dead, literally dead. They want to see all of us. They want to see Mike S. Miller broke and out in the street with his kids dead.
Oh, yeah.
They want to see that. That's not an exaggeration. They will laugh if that happens.
And I don't think we're being offensive. We're already over here hurt and bleeding. You know, Tug's been hurt. My family's been hurt. Our businesses have been hurt.
Yeah. So this is what we have to do. So the money has to stay, and we have to be. If anyone f's with us like that, if anybody wants to defame, wants to make a big statement, we have to let them know that we have the resources, thanks to our fans, thanks to the customers, to nuke them from orbit.
Sure.
Yeah, we have to become a superpower.
Simple as that. Yeah, I hate it. I mean, I hate it. I think Doug's under the impression that we're going to go out looking for trouble. We're not looking for trouble.
Yeah.
The opposite, you know. But, you know, if trouble comes to us, we need to defend ourselves, and we need to let people know that we have nuclear missiles, nuclear capability. Agreed or not agreed? Does anybody disagree?
No, I'm good with that.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So Bagel Goose says it's always a creep show when you're here, EVS. I agree. That's sad. Donut Swan says, love the war chest idea, but now hear me out. What if we turned it into ones and went to feed some rhinos? Spearmint rhinos, not biblical unicorns. So let's go to a strip club and just give it to her.
That's the way to do it. That's what we save it for, the war chest.
There we go.
The voice of reason has arrived.
Yes. That's not a bad idea. Harley Ray, thanks for a $13 donation. Some old guy in 1968 says, what is Ricado's point of view? I don't know. I invited him. He's not here yet. So, you know, we'll see what he says about it. I asked him if $100,000 was too much for this lawsuit, and he said it shouldn't get to that, but it could. So, you know, we just have to be aware that that money could all get eaten up. If we win, it'll get returned to us. If we lose, it's goodbye, but it's also goodbye pretty much for Comicsgate's safety and security. So, you know, we have to kind of count on winning this lawsuit. Aunt Luede, thank you for $5. I'll be donating $150 to the fund today. Seeing the excess will go to the war chest has sealed the deal. Build our own wall of money. Damn, I love this community. Earth Citizen 9 says, think Wade is having a fit over 6 figures. Yeah, I would hate to be a fixture in his home right now. I'd hate to be a wall. I would hate to be a piece of furniture.
There are no walls. There's so many holes punched in the walls at his place from this that he has no drywall left.
Yeah.
I'd hate to be a toy.
Yeah, I'd hate to be one of his toys.
I'd hate to be a woman.
Oh my
God. The other says non-PC beats NPC. Yeah. Mellow E says defamation is nearly impossible to prove in court. I don't know. I think we might be able to do it, but in any case, we'll make trouble. And I think we should make trouble. Mike Jenkins says 6 friggin' figures biatch. Mike Jenkins also says Booth was an Oneida member kicked out for chronic masturbation. I didn't know that. You know a lot more about John Wilkes Booth than I do. Jason Green says, hey, Ethan, I think if Mark's lawyer wants to bring up content of character, they should let the jury hear and see Mark's 911 police call. Well, it wasn't his call. He was just screaming in the background. It was one of his victims who was calling 911. And if we can get the police call, they would be welcome to obviously to enter it into evidence. I don't know if it could be evidence. I don't know.
That can be evidence. That's clear evidence of this guy's mental state. This is a track record of behavior, attacking businesses and small businesses at that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Bugnish Bachwinkle says Uncle Ouija is back. I took the hat off immediately when the chat. I mean, Doug, I put on my Ouija board hat and the whole chat froze.
Ooh. Yeah, you can't do that. You got to. I thought you were going to burn that thing.
Well, I will burn it. What was it? Somebody had to get to a certain level before I burn it.
Dead to 30K, and you burn the hat.
Yeah, if we can get Detective Dead to 30K, I'll burn it.
Yeah, we got to do that. We got to do that quick. How close are you? How close are you?
I'm at 26 right now.
Oh, okay, we got to do that.
And Ethan, you know, in the what they call it, the witch world, you're approaching the witching hour of 12 midnight. So you don't want to have the hat on.
Oh, you got to be careful. I got an hour and a half. I got 90 minutes East Coast time before we hit midnight. So
that looks like Rasa Ghul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll stick to your head. You won't be able to get it off like those horror movies, like the clown movie. You'll be like,
oh man, that was a trip.
You'll be like trying to pull it. It won't come off. I thought it was funny, and now it won't come off.
That's scary. I don't want to get involved in any of that. I mean, now you're starting to freak me out, Doug.
It's becoming part of your head.
Put your camera on so we can watch the lights dim back there on their own.
That happens to Doug every time he puts on a pair of gloves. They can't come off.
Let's see. Pharaoh Owen says, my psychic powers tell me that most dead people think Mark Waid is a stupid asshole. A-Z hole with the W.
Sure.
Nicholas, Comicsgate goes CGTOW. Comicsgate going their own way, I guess. Comic artists going their own way. Yeah, except we have sex, lots of it. Not with each other.
Not that we know of. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Look at that specter of evil Cecil right now. Look at that specter of evil. Horror.
What is up with Cecil? Oh my God, that's hideous, Cecil.
Halloween.
Yeah, it is Halloween, so I guess that's
really
permissible.
Something.
Wow, we got a good group here tonight. I'm looking at the super chat, so I didn't even see who's here. We got Kanan White. We've got Cecil. I should actually. Okay, so we can. Cecil's here. We've got Critias from Detective Dead. Donald DeLay is here. The great Donald DeLay. Obviously, we've got Doug Tenaple, one of my favorite guests. Yeah, it's great. I love Doug when he comes in here. I know people get angry at him and say kick Doug, but I'll never kick Doug.
That's what I'm here for, baby. That's what I'm here for.
I really appreciate you. Akari Press, also known as Antonio Bryce. The great John Malin.
Hi.
Yeah. When John Malin speaks, he actually says really important, impactful, and significant things. There's a lot of wisdom behind John Malin, and people really appreciate it.
Except during drawing quarter.
And Graveyard Shift closes tonight, doesn't it?
I've already shut it down. It's on a slow roll, so they didn't get back to me on being able to get the 11:59 time. So it is over, but there's maybe 24 hours left to get it. So if anyone's interested, you can go check it out. Back it.
This is it, guys.
But yeah, it is over when it shuts down. There will be no more orders taken for it.
People want to see Cecil. Can you see Cecil now?
Cecil's got to talk.
Yeah.
No, I just clicked the screen on him, so I don't know what's going on.
It's hard to drink.
You put that hat on and it screwed everything up, brother.
Hey, his face and neck looks a lot skinnier than I thought.
Yeah,
I'm just.
Cecil carries his weight well. I would say he really does. Yeah. And also Ben Hennessy is here from Cautionary Comics. I want to point out. So we got a pretty full house. People can't see. We can't see anyone but Ethan and Kanan, they say. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I'm looking at the chat now. You can't see anybody.
Yeah, you just see.
You can't see me, baby.
I see Antonio and Kanan, and that's it.
Oh, well, then I'm going to take off my mask now.
You might as well, because nobody's enjoying you.
Nobody can see. I mean, I'll let you guys see my real face since no one in the chat can see it. Here we go.
Is this the big reveal?
Yeah, here we go.
Ready?
What do you guys?
Oh my God!
Whoa!
That's not bad, right?
Looks like
Is that
an
Brad
angel.
Pitt?
The face of an angel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cecil, I thought you were a black dude. What happened, man?
Wait, you sure no one can see this, right?
Nobody can see it.
You've got a pretty mouth.
You know, it's sad that the computer isn't working.
I'm serious.
Oh wow!
Doug and Cecil have a little something going on right now.
You do.
There's a little
He's a
traction.
friend. He
Better not
pulled me out of the rice paddies, and we go with that.
People are yelling at me to fix it now. They're saying, I have to get on a plane, fix it now. They're all quoting Mark Waid. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what to do about it. I really don't. If I did, I would fix it.
I went trick or treating with my nieces before, and one of the people gave me a beer.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, Voodoo Ranger's good.
Good stuff.
Yeah. That looks great.
I'm
I
doing
had a-
Lefroy, Cecil. Lefroy.
I had a glass of Walking Dead red wine.
Here's McCullum.
Sucked, dude.
McCullum
The-
25.
yeah. All right.
I'll do a face reveal on the next stream. I see a lot of people in the chat are upset.
Yeah,
Where'd it go red all of a sudden?
they missed it.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime event.
Just warn Ethan so you can put it in the title, because that would be big.
I could kill this stream and start over again. I mean, I don't know what you guys want from me. We've already had problems. If you wanna launch the stream again, we could definitely do that.
Don't worry, everybody. I screenshot it.
It's Halloween.
Oh, you did? You screenshot? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on Twitter.
Yeah, it's a nice shot of of Cecil's face. You put that on Twitter. That should be good. Let's see. Steve Turney.
That legal defense fund to sue him if you don't mind.
Please do it. Please do it. Steve Turney, thanks for 12 pounds. Appreciate that donation. Red User 1 says Liefeld has an Indiegogo campaign up. Is he Comicsgate? I
No.
don't think he's Comicsgate.
No.
How's his campaign doing?
How's his Kickstarter doing?
His
Has he
Kickstarter
fulfilled that yet?
Well,
Not great, but he went after one of my artists the other day on Facebook, claiming he owned poses and launched a big mob of his people against a small indie artist, which is pretty sick.
All right, I'm opening up his. Let me see what he's doing here. Yeah, okay. Rob Liefeld launches Indiegogo for his magnum opus Brigade. Rob is just
again.
Yeah, all right. I know he's your friend, John. Sorry. Oh my God. All right, so he's just opened it up. He's got people might be interested in this. He's not Comicsgate. Let me point that out right now. He has rather come out against Comicsgate when he really didn't need to, and it wasn't very nice.
And that surprised me back when I talked to him. He used to be a solid right guy, solid center right.
That's correct. By the way, I tell a story about like when I realized I was a Republican in comics, and it was around 2002 or 2003. I realized I think I'm a Republican. Those are just my views. They make sense to me. And early on, I went to a comic book show. I went to a comic book convention. I'm waiting in line to get a piece of pizza. And the guy in front of me is talking to another dude. And he goes, I used to like Rob Liefeld until I found out he was a Republican Nazi fuck.
Yeah.
And so I tell that story, but I've never said who they were referring to. They were referring to Rob Liefeld. So that kind of, when I heard that kind of changed my whole life. That one little comment made me go, oh, this is what I'm in for. It's like I'm in for this kind of treatment. People are going to call me names like that. Since then, Rob has I don't know what happened to Rob. I don't know what happened to him politically. I don't know where he stands.
I don't know. Maybe he just read Twitter.
Yeah, I think maybe it's safer. It's safer to be just kind of half-hearted SJW. But $683 raised of his $2,500 goal. It looks like he just launched it today. Doesn't look like it's cruising.
No.
But I'm going to refresh it again. Did we get anything?
Well, people I'm saying on Kickstarter, he had like 38,000. I saw that.
Yeah, and that was never fulfilled.
Oh, I thought that was a new campaign or something. I thought he raised that.
Rob Liefeld can't fill 38,000.
The campaign on Kickstarter was never fulfilled. People have been, he does refunds when people ask, but they never got their books.
You mean he raised the money and didn't give them their money back? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You can't do that.
And
so ultimately, here's why I'm not. I just remembered. Here's why I'm not going to support Rob Liefeld's project here, and I'm showing it. If you want to back it, absolutely back it.
Yeah.
I won't be talking about it again after this. When Daryl Ayo ran his whole campaign of ridiculous lies and abuse last January, Rob Liefeld, watching this happen, came out on Twitter and said, "I'm so sorry that you are suffering this harassment, Daryl Ayo." And that was him trolling me. That was Rob Liefeld saying, "Fuck you" to me. And so, all right, Rob, no,
But did Rob make a lot of money from the Deadpool movies? Does he?
Yes.
I don't know.
He's got a deal with Marvel, because I saw they even had when he went to San Diego Comic-Con, they had like some limited edition stuff. He's got some kind of deal where, and I know him and Shelby were supposed to be doing Deadpool Batter Blood 2 or whatever over there. So I mean, he's got books coming out through Marvel. I mean, so he's got some kind of deal with them.
Yeah, I don't. He's not comics gated at all. Like he's not.
No, definitely not.
He's going to check this out and just see if he can do what we did. And I don't know if he can.
What I'm trying to say is, if he's got like movie money now coming in, what does he need to do? Like
crowdfunding for? Yeah.
I can't imagine why he needs the money. I mean,
he doesn't. Except what if? Hey, it's just Ethan Van Sciver raised $638,000 for Cyberfrog. Surely Rob Liefeld can raise 7 figures, right?
Paid. Right. Yeah. Sure.
So that's probably what he's thinking. I don't know. I don't.
All I know is he was pretty rough with a indie artist on Facebook a couple days ago, and that wasn't. I mean, just a couple days ago. So no, I'm not supporting him. I just posted something on Twitter about it. I'm not calling for a boycott, but I don't think anybody should support him.
No, I don't. I don't believe in boycotts. So I would say, go ahead if you want. If you want to back this campaign, do it. He's only looking for $2,500. He just opened up today. Maybe he'll do good. Maybe it'll work. But like I said, this is the first and last time I'm going to mention this campaign.
Super chat.
Nasser.
This is kind of shady. I mean, he basically stole $35,000. This is the same. This is the same images that he used for his Kickstarter.
Wow.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's the same image that he had on it.
Did you back it?
No.
When was the Kickstarter for this?
2013.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's shady.
Somebody says it's a rehash of an unfulfilled Kickstarter.
Wow. Maybe he's not making money with those movies. That's what I'm like. Why would it?
It's not that much money.
Deadpool, he wouldn't.
Why the fuck would you be wasting your time with this shit? You're making those movies made millions and millions, hundreds.
Do you want to know how much money he's making from Deadpool? Each Deadpool movie? I'll tell you exactly how much. You ready?
Yep.
$20,000.
No way.
No.
Yep.
That first one made a bag, though.
Marvel owns all the real rights to it.
It's not royalties. It's not about royalties. It's about
that is criminal.
Contractual flat rate, but it surprises me it's that low. And it could have been that he made it so long ago that back then those rates were so small for Marvel barely getting out with.
Wow.
Now this is how I know this. Okay, and people are saying, "Yikes, that can't be right." I have a contract with Marvel as well. I have the same contract I believe that he has, unless he negotiated some super contract with them. I don't know. I would think that this would be a standard agreement. That Marvel does do profit sharing when it comes to, or they don't do. They do. They would call them incentives. They would call them incentives. They do incentives, which is character right sharing. With creators when they're going to use their characters. Now, I own 4 or 5 X-Men. I own incentives. And I read my contract very carefully. When the character Angel, who I own a piece of, was going to be in X-Men First Class, I read my contract and it said, if your character appears in a movie, you will receive $20,000. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to get $20,000. Oh my God. Like that's a lot of money. What are we going to do? We'll buy a new car. I mean, great. then I got $800 instead of $20,000.
How did that happen?
And I said, well, what? I don't understand. And they said, no. You would get $20,000 if the movie featured your character and was named after your character.
Oh.
So if Angel if the movie was called Angel and it was all about Angel, I would get $20,000. Now, does Rob have a different contract? He might. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got some kind of deal because he was doing special promotion. I was following him on Instagram when the first Deadpool came out. He was doing all kind of stuff that looked like
they probably paid him hush money because he could have came out and been like, all they gave him was fucking $20,000.
Yeah, they would give it. They was doing.
They paid him more not to say that.
They were re-releasing like Deadpool classics that he was signing and doing. He was doing all kinds of different things.
They gave him keep quiet money.
Yeah,
they could be.
I've been dumping a lot of comics art, and he's been dumping a lot of original art on the market too. So maybe something's up.
Yeah. People saying, how do you own Angel? Let me just correct this real quick. Not Angel, not Warren Worthington. New X-Men Angel. She's, I think, a Puerto Rican girl with bug wings. You know. So different Angel, and she was played in X-Men First Class by Lenny Kravitz's daughter, Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, call her Pixie or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
No, her actual name is Angel. That's her first name.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's her X-Men name though? What's her X-Men name?
Pixie.
Angel. Well, it was Angel, but maybe it's Pixie now. I don't know. All those characters are still around. I just saw that hideous X-Men piece that people are passing around with Scott Summers looking like an old man. Like every character in the background of that drawing is mine. It's like Beak, Glob Herman, Angel, and somebody else was back there, and I was like, oh yeah. So Angel Salvador. But now I'm just saying that's my suspicion. Now, if like I said, I mean, Rob Liefeld's Deadpool is at the very peak of that agreement. That's like, hey, the movie is about him. It is named after him. You should get the maximum amount of money that's being offered to you. And in my case, it would have been $20,000. In Rob's case, maybe it's something different, but why? Why would it be?
$40,000. I think Disney paid him extra money, or Fox, just so he wouldn't bitch about it publicly.
Could be.
If he's on as a consultant, beef up your salary for shut up money.
Yeah,
it's on the movie as a consultant.
Yeah, or they'll pay him as a like a producer or something.
Yeah, exactly. If he went, it would look bad on them to be like, "Hey, we took this guy's character and have made a few $100 million off of it, and he got $20,000."
Yeah,
it'd be worth it to give him like a $200,000 job on the. That's it.
That's what the books were supposed to be. That's why, like said, before Kanan actually came back on brand, that's why I was working with Shelby Robertson, and he had did Deadpool Bad Blood, and like I said, they were supposed to be doing a sequel to that. That's what he was telling me. They had Rob's got a series of other titles that were supposed to come out through Marvel. They were going to trickle them out a little at a time, and he was getting paid very nicely for those, the way I was told.
Excuse me.
But at the end of the day, here's the thing. What is good money to you is shit money to Rob Liefeld, because he's somebody who at one point was used to making $15-20 million a year. And that, so if he's making $1 million a year, it's like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, we're starving.
There's no way he's doing this for $2,500. That doesn't make any sense. So he's got to be thinking he's going to get a $500,000. I mean, maybe he will.
Well, if he stiffs people on $35,000, that blows my mind right there.
Is he a gambler?
Yeah, something's up. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you look at all the art that was out there, and I mean, I don't know the guy at all, but the money's low, and then even if you got $35,000 last time, that still seems pretty low to produce and ship everything. I don't know.
Well,
the thing about it is
his pricing on this one looks relative to Comicsgate.
Yeah, what he's doing is he's doing what you're supposed to do on Indiegogo. Okay, first of all, he's got enough money. I'm sure he's got enough money to put out a comic book. But when you're working with Indiegogo, the thing that makes it different from Kickstarter is if you don't reach your goal. Okay, you can set your goal wherever you want it. If you don't reach your goal, you still have to pay Indiegogo their 5%. So,
isn't he still an owner at Image? Why would he?
He's still a partner.
So why would he put out his book for Image?
He's not a partner at Image anymore.
Yeah, I think he was. I don't think he was. I think he was. I mean,
No, when they did that image thing, it's still online on Sci-Fi on the Sci-Fi YouTube channel. That was one of the things, and on Robert Kirkman's Secret History of Comics. That was one of the things Robert Kirkman was saying he was proud of, the fact that he brought Rob Liefeld back as an Image partner.
He probably brought Rob back to Image. I highly doubt he brought him back as a partner.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, who even knows? But yeah, so this is the thing. You price it at $2,500. That's your flexible goal. You assume you're going to zoom past $2,500. But you know, that's the thing. If you don't, for some reason, if Rob for some reason does not reach $2,500, he's only got to pay 5%. So he's going to have to pay Indiegogo $125 as a penalty for not reaching this goal. Some people go, well, I'm going to need $100,000 to do a comic book, and so I better put that as my goal. Well, if you don't reach it, you're going to owe 5% of that to Indiegogo as a fee for failing.
well,
keep your goal low. Keep your goal reasonable. Keep it low. You don't want to make it $1 because if you get your $1, you still got to produce the book. So
right.
Then you're burned. You're burned if you only get $2,500 to produce a book.
Somebody in the chat pointed out that he also created Hawk and Dove, which are characters on that new Titan show. So he's got to be getting some DC money, no?
He didn't create Hawk and Dove.
No, he didn't.
Oh, with the woman, the female Dove or whatever. He
didn't get any. That's like, you can go, hey, I created Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern. You know how much money I get for that? It's Green Lantern. So, you know, I get, they give me, they're nice enough to give me a bonus, a little bonus every now and then for Jessica Cruz. But because she's a derivative of another character that, you know,
really?
she's just I don't own Jessica Cruz, which sucks.
Well,
but I own the Red Lantern Corps. You know, I own the Blue Lanterns. I own all that.
It's cool.
But I don't own any of the Green Lanterns that I created, so I didn't bother really creating too many of them.
What about the Yellow Lantern Corps?
Yeah, I do. I own. I don't own Sinestro, but I own Crib. I own.
It's creepy, by the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a Black Lantern?
Still.
Black Lantern? Because I just created it and I want my money.
There are the Black Lanterns. It's from Black Night.
I was about to say, yeah.
Simultaneous development.
They're the necro lanterns, basically.
All that stuff was my jam, Ethan. I'll be honest. I mean, even when you know, I mean, yeah, of course.
What about the Paisley Lantern?
Well, you could do that. Yeah.
Did you hear what Hillary Clinton said about the Black Lanterns?
What? They all look alike. Oh yeah.
Can you believe? Yeah.
I was very upset. I couldn't believe she did that. Honestly, I was disappointed.
She actually said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
I was actually really disappointed that she
She was
said
talking about Eric Holden and somebody else when she said it.
Crazy.
Nick B says, if The Rock stars in the movie, can you punch him in the balls, EVS?
Is that contractual?
You better be able to run fast.
Yeah, I
don't want to do that. Let me read some of these super chats. Let's see. EVS, did you see Rob Liefeld's Indiegogo? So we did that. Dante and Ravina brings up a good thing. Still going to donate $10K to Orchid Cancer? Yes. As a matter of fact, today we finally got the money from Indiegogo, and I talked about that a little bit last week. It was my fault. I was scared, and I didn't want to say anything when Vox Day had his Indiegogo campaign taken down. I was scared because I was supposed to receive the money for the Salamandroid variant cover on September 6th, and I didn't get it. And a month goes by, and it's October 6th, and I still didn't get the money. And I wrote to my contact at Indiegogo and said, am I okay over there? Like, what's going on? And they said, no, you're good as gold. I said, well, how come I haven't received a payout for, you know, the Salamandroid thing? I'm supposed to get like $86,000 deposited into my account. I haven't received it yet. And they said, that's weird. Okay, well, it's going to hit your account Friday. We just looked into it. Friday came and went, and it didn't show up. Finally, make a long story short, last week they said, yeah, we checked with my guy. I checked with Indiegogo. He said, did you fill in your bank information on the campaign? Did you leave that off? I was like, no, didn't it just carry over? Because all I did was just launch it. No, you have to re-put your bank info in there. And I went, oh, motherfucker. Why didn't anyone tell me? Like, I didn't get any kind of notification from Indiegogo. Nobody said, we're trying to deposit money, but we don't have a bank account. Nobody said anything to me. So last week, I finally filled in the bank account information, the same bank account that is holding all of the Cyberfrog money. And today it was dispersed into our account. So tomorrow, November 1st, we are going to be making a very public donation to the Orchid Cancer Charity on behalf of Dick Cancer. Dick Cancer, right? So that should be fun, and we'll make a big spectacle out of it and everything. We don't want to be modest about charity. This is money coming from all of you guys. We want to actually celebrate and be proud of ourselves, and be boastful about it. It was a good idea, and I think we did a good thing.
Good stunt. Good stunt.
Yeah.
As a former financial advisor, if you wouldn't mind me suggesting what to do with the rest of that money.
Yes.
You're near Atlantic City, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Go and double it.
Put it on black. Put it on black.
Let it, and then let it ride. That sounds like a great idea.
Or
put it on green. It's a bigger payout.
Yeah, but that's not 50-50. Those are terrible odds.
Feel free to donate it.
You gotta live, Doug.
You gotta live. Yeah, you go for broke, right? Go for it.
Yeah. I would do it. No, I wouldn't. Can you imagine? I wish I had that kind of money. Like it could work. Like you could take it'd be $76,000, put it down on the table, one hand of blackjack. What if you hit blackjack?
Oh, that would be beautiful.
God damn.
Well, then you take half of it and keep playing with that half because it's house money.
What if you put $76,000 down? Okay. And then you get dealt your cards. You get dealt 2 aces. All right.
You double that.
You got to double down. That means you have to go into that. You have to find another $76,000. You're gonna have to take it out of the bank or something. You have to say, everybody, hold on, put it down, and then you get dealt 2 face cards.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's how life works.
Let's go to Vegas right now.
I know. I'm getting hungry. I'm salivating. Let's go.
Yeah, you split it.
Let's dip into that war chest. We got to go to the Spearmint. I know a guy out there will have plenty of ketamine waiting for us. And
he just throws that off. Ketamine is flowing.
I can't be the only one with a heart on right now.
That would be that would be great. I would be able to leave after that. I'd be like, all right, thank you. I'm out of here. Right? Or would I stay gambling all night? Vladimir, everybody's saying split. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't actually say that. Of course you're gonna split. That's why you get 2 face cards and then boom. 2 blackjacks. God damn. You want to go, Cecil?
Let's do it. The good thing about me is if you ever actually want to do that, get in contact with me. I'll go. All I need is an hour.
That's all I need. I'm an hour away from Atlantic City.
No, fuck Atlantic City. We'll go to Vegas. Let's do it right. I need an hour's notice. That's it. I'll make you at Newark.
Why would I go to Vegas? I could just go to Atlanta. I mean, I know Vegas is much better, but if I'm just going to play blackjack, I'll just go to Atlantic City. It's good.
Because we could see Celine Dion out there. She's got a residency. Her and Britney Spears, and I think Aerosmith now too.
Margaret Miracle's like, snap out of it.
Billy Idol was out there last time I went.
I value my marriage. That would be the end of my marriage if I did that. Unless I won.
Yeah, then you could get 2 wives. You're a Mormon.
Oh my God. You can't do that. You can't split and then double down on wives, no matter how Mormon you are. That's just not how it works.
Have you checked that book?
Have you watched the Book of Mormon? Have you watched?
Times were different then.
Yeah.
It was a simpler time.
Mark Waid just posted an update to his GoFundMe page.
Oh.
The Nazis are trying to stop me.
How do you see it? How do you see an update to his page? You have to have donated updates. Here we go. 2 updates. 7 minutes ago. Okay, let me share this with the chat. We'll read this. I haven't read it. I don't know what he's going to say. I hope it's not a threat.
Dear Ethan, thanks for reading this on the air.
Right.
Yeah. Here we go. Update 2 posted by Mark Waid 7 minutes ago. Some of you may be surprised at the amount of harassment and Mark Waid non-fan fiction being posted at the GoFundMe comments section. I'm reasonably sure that most GoFundMes don't attract trolls. Here's a short list of the things I've learned about myself by reading the comments. Apparently, I'm a millionaire. Apparently, I was once in business with an African-American woman. I'm surprised to learn that I made some phone calls to an unnamed university in Scotland and got a woman thrown out 3 weeks before graduation and drove her unnamed husband to 3 suicide attempts. And it turns out I had a wife, so screw all of you for not sending me a wedding gift. There's so much more. I'm tempted to publish it as an anthology stretchable. Mark, nobody's that interested. There are people that are coming out and making these accusations about you, and we believe them. Why are you trying to gaslight people about what women are saying about you? I thought you're supposed to believe women.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, you fucking asshole? What is this? African-American woman. Well, you were in business with her. Well, no, you were in business with the man who is now her husband. So nice of you to try to split hairs and gaslight people. You were in business with Jason Pierce, okay, whose girlfriend was Shannon Outlaw. Right? Is that right? They are now married. They're now married. She is black. I understand that he is white. Stop lying, Mark. Stop splitting hairs.
I love them.
You destroyed this dude's life, and by addendum, you destroyed her life because she ended up being married to him, and there were a lot of a lot of good opportunities that will not come his way because of you and what you did. This is I can't stand SJWs. They fucking lie. They just lie. Like, this is gaslighting. Oh, see? So whatever Shannon Pierce Outlaw said there has to be thrown out because I wasn't really in business with her. I was in business with her boyfriend, her then boyfriend.
But she was in the room when he was flipping out, right?
Yes. Yeah, okay. She was.
So that's okay. That
right.
He beat up, tear up a room in front of this lady with her boyfriend or whoever there, but he's fine with that.
This guy is. Do you understand who Mark Waid is, guys? I'm going to read this and we're going to go through this, and I want you to understand the kind of lying and the style of lying people like Mark Waid do. Okay, because this is meant to make you think that everything Shannon Pierce Outlaw said is untrue because he wasn't in business with her. Okay, he was in business with her boyfriend. All right, so there you go. I'm surprised to learn that I made some phone calls to an unnamed university in Scotland and got a woman thrown out 3 weeks before graduation and drove her unnamed husband to 3 suicide attempts. She doesn't want to name her husband, Mark. You drove him to 3 suicide attempts. She's going to keep that private. She named herself as Amanda. She was, this is all stuff that she's alleging about you. And it turns out I had a wife. Nobody said that. So screw all of you for not sending me a wedding gift. We said girlfriend. There's so much more. I'm tempted to publish this. So basically none of this happened, Mark. You did not harass and threaten anyone, did you? Because of the hair splitting that you're doing here. I've deleted exactly 1 ugly comment aimed at others. The rest I'm leaving untouched so you can see for yourself the sort of hate and harassment I'm having to lawyer up against. And I'm a straight white man. This is nothing compared to what women, people of color, and the LGBTQ plus community receive every day from Comicsgate's representatives. Think about that. You
attack and defend. Attack and defend.
Fucking liar.
I love this man. He's always defending no matter what. Even when his back is against the wall, he's still defending people.
Do you guys see this? We've got 1,480 people watching right now. I want you to understand the way he is. Comicsgate's representatives. Yeah, Mark, you're the one who harassed a woman, and now you're denying what she's saying. You're gaslighting people and making her think that you are not going to acknowledge what you've done to her. People of color, that is Shannon, and the LGBTQ community. What are you talking about? What exactly are you talking about? You're the one that we're focused on right now, Mark. Not these people. These are people that you have leveled. Their lives were leveled by you. Our focus is on you. Our target is on you right now. We want to make sure that you are punished for what you've done. You sound like a psychopath. And it really is. It's psychopathic. Maybe it's sociopathic behavior. Unbelievable. Read their comments. Pay attention to the language. It's important to see for yourselves how these people react and what fiction they'll throw at you when you take a stand against bigotry and for inclusivity. When you object to black writers being called race hustlers. Who did that? Whose writing is minstrel show? Who said that? When you call people out for comparing transgender people to dog-faced boys at the Carnival Freak Show? That's not what he said. When you object to women in any industry being accused of being hired because of boobs, Mark, there's some truth to that.
I love how you wrote boobs.
There's some truth to that, Mark. There's some truth to that, isn't there? And I want you to look real hard in the mirror. And I think maybe you'll recall what I'm referring to. It's not your boobs. I'm talking about a woman, by the way. Sorry. Yeah. And unqualified as a gender. I'm fighting a lawsuit that I strongly believe is designed to silence anyone who speaks out against that sort of prejudice. I'm fighting back. Please donate and please keep sharing. Let's send a clear message that online harassment is unacceptable. Thank you. Help spread the word.
This man is a hero.
Mm-hmm. You know what's sad though? You're trying to garnish fans you don't have.
I just sent him $20.
I mean that's the sad commentary, man. Like you're trying to rally.
The first part was lies. The first part was just lies. The last part was unsubstantiated claims about us, about things that who said dog face boy. Who is
that? Was no, he's referring to Diversity in Comics, who said that I can't remember what it was. He said there was some sort of conference from Marvel creatives, and he just listed the diversity people, and he kind of said, this wasn't like a conference built on merit. It was kind of like a circus. It's like, look at all the different people we have. Come see our fat lady. Come see our dog face boy.
Oh, okay. Right.
So look, he's being snotty, but he was not calling transgendered people dog face boys. He wasn't.
Listen, and these are the same people that said, veterans, our brothers need to be blown up, right? I don't want to hear about hurt words anymore. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter legally that your little feelings were hurt. It doesn't matter legally that I was offended, right? What matters legally is what they've been doing. And if they really believe what they're doing is righteous and what they're doing is not illegal, they have nothing to worry about, right? It's going to all work out. But no, they know they messed up. I know they know it.
This makes me want to keep the GoFundMe up forever.
Yes.
Do you know what this kind of reminds me of, Ethan? Is when all the allegations started coming against Harvey Weinstein, he said, "Don't come out against me now. I'm about to do a big documentary on the NRA."
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Don't come after me. Look, I'm doing this thing that you all love. Like it kind of reminds me of that.
I'm going to mock the proof of everything I did.
The less charming Harvey Weinstein.
They're saying, please get Mark Waid's face off the fucking screen. I will do that mercy for you. I'm sitting back in my chair, just shaking my head, just looking at this guy like
that
boy.
Picture, though. He's looking off into the distance. You know what he's thinking? Who will defend the dog face boy? I will.
It was a very moving letter.
Infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. What? But I mean, this again, it's like this is how they lie. This is how they gaslight. Did you see how he sort of nimbly worked around these very serious allegations? I mean, these are people whose lives he destroyed. Whose lives he destroyed.
He mocked them. He mocked their suffering. He mocked the suicide attempts. He mocked it's textbook deflection. Textbook.
Yeah. Somebody make Mark Waid the dog face boy, please. Let's get those memes out there.
It's coming. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the trial, so hopefully we can get like a Ted Bundy styled Mark Waid yelling.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we need a courtroom,
real Mark Waid,
a courtroom artist drawing it.
They're trying to silence me for standing up against harassment.
If
Oh
this
my
goes to
God.
trial, I'm going to fly out there and go to it.
I would
Yeah.
love to. I will
Let's
be.
live stream from the courtroom.
Hey, I'm not kidding. If Richard's cool with it, I will be there with a new suit on.
We need to get, you know what we need to do? We need to get Betty Bright Eye to be the court sketchographer or whatever, the court sketch artist. Betty Bright Eye sitting there drawing Mark Waid at court. Hilarious. Betty, if you are watching now, my friend, go ahead and let's see a little bit of what that's going to look like. Use your imagination. A lot of people would do court sketches. This is a very talented community. We can handle this. Who's going to save the dog-faced boy? That's right. Mark is. So the current score, somebody points out, your boy Zach, $100,681. Mark Waid, $72,107. I shouldn't have read that. I'm so angry now.
Yeah.
I was very zen. I was feeling pretty chill. I was just like, well, Mark Waid's going to, no, Mark Waid has not learned a goddamn thing. And I don't know what it's going to take to get through his thick pink head. What he did was wrong.
Well, what I love about that last little post that he just did, that update, it just shows the desperation.
Yep.
It shows the lie. And if any normal person reading it looks at it and say, wait, what? You have all these minority, when there's smoke, there's fire, really. I mean, it's not just a chorus of amplified voices saying, oh, these people are this or that. No, these are serious accusations of, harassment, terrorizing a business, causing a person to cause suicide. Those are legal actions, right? Yeah. It's very different than what it used to be. I think they pushed it that way too far.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get that tape.
Me too.
Oh my God, dude. It's coming. It's coming. We're going to get it. And you'll notice he didn't say anything about anything I've said about him, really. That's interesting. No counter to any of that. No counter to the allegations of childish temper tantrums, violent temper tantrums that he's become known for. All right, let me continue reading these super chats so I can calm down here. Thank you for sending me $5, guys. That makes me happier. Booth's brother was a famous actor and got canned, says Mr. Snuffles. Kale Roberts says Guardians of Erloth is now live on Indiegogo. Check it out. Thanks. Adabisi says never name your kid Mark. Aid. Let's see. Pharaoh Hohen says they believe in aliens because of their own probing experiences. Meximan and Cheese, Alex Jones equals Bill Hicks. They do look a lot alike and they sound alike. Michael Ross says Mark Zaid proved Comicsgate sank the Lusitania. Daniel Cooney says congrats on hitting 100K, mailing over 400K. So many good creators doing it. We gladly feast on those who would subdue us. Freedom of speech. Help me get the Tommy gun dolls to 30K. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Great Loner. I read Iron Sights last night. Quick synopsis. It's about a veteran being the target of a cartel. Quite a good read. Humphrey Bear. Gary Shipman salutes Cyberfrog. 2 for 900 subs. Karim Gantus. Na cash grab. Oak 19. Cecil, are you in touch with Nurkish about that?
I have not spoke with him since he left Twitter.
That's worrisome. Oak 1971. Is a trap? It's a trap. DCV Titan. When did your boy Zach break 6 figures? I guess that was this afternoon. I think, right?
That was 24 hours.
Yeah. Andy Bell, if you want an SJW cringe, check out Ribrianne and her crew on Dragon Ball Super. Android 18 humiliates her, though. Mike Jenkins, watching Incredible Mr. Limpet with a fat spliff. That sounds nice. That sounds like a good night.
Other than the Incredible Mr. Limpet part.
It might make it good. Postmortem 666, NPCs are xenomorphs. They kill the host and will have to find a new victim to spread. Philip Yee, SJW tried to inject politics into English anime, for example, making references to feminism or Gamergate, in which the original Japanese dialogue did not. Matt Becker, Doug, shut up, you goody bird.
Thanks, Gail.
Drew Turnbull, the Japanese fighting game Dead or Alive got infected with SJWism. The director removed the sex appeal from the new game in the series to market it to appeal to the West.
Oh.
That's fucked up. Mark C. Doug, well, I don't want to see any Comicscape books become political. I think it would be awesome if, in the second volume of Bigfoot Bill, he's chased by a conspiracy theorist, Zaid or Zark Maid.
Wow.
Mike Jenkins,
He'll
Brian.
be long gone by then.
Yes. Mike Jenkins, Brian Wilson's a musical genius.
Yes.
The other says, watch Derek by Ricky Gervais. You'll cry. Mark C. says, I'll see your Brian Wilson and Billy Joel and raise you Neil Diamond. I don't think so. I don't think Neil, no. Lord Black Wolf says, EVS, did you get a P.O. box yet? I have a trebuchet that I'd like to send you. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I will go out and get a P.O. box. Matt Becker says, the Eagles sound like being carsick feels. I agree. That's a great description.
What?
Also, Neil Diamond wrote a lot of the Monkey songs, I believe.
That is true. That is true. He did do a couple of things, but, you know, for the most part, my God, you know, listen to
Cracklin' Rose and Forever in Blue Jeans. Those old Neil Diamond is what I like. Old. Before Coming to America. The old ones.
They're coming to America
Yeah, not that.
today. Yeah, it's anything. The Ball Sacker says, I just want to hear Kanan sing Suck on My Chocolate Salty Balls. Antonio Malpica.
Isaac Hayes song, isn't it?
It's from South Park, I think.
Yeah, Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, yeah. Critias says, sorry, EVS, have to mute myself. My victims are trying to escape. Don't want to alarm the chat. Okay, yeah. Hugh Jass says, any update with the Wade 911 recording? Yeah, I started out this show with an update about it. The woman who is getting it for us, who works in the, I guess where it's stored, says that she's moving her furniture around today. She says tomorrow by the latest. She said that a couple days now, so it's frustrating. Paul Godin said,
gotta thank the work campaign for the lead on that.
oh my good. Well, when I get it, I'm gonna thank the war campaign for that. Those guys are doing great work, and they deserve respect. Paul Godin says, would making a war chest cause us to create a corporation of sorts with a board, with officers and all that stuff? I don't know.
I'd like to be on that board if you don't mind. I haven't embezzled from anything like this in a while.
Yeah. Probably wouldn't use Cecil, but Chris Abrams says, use it to wash Doug's hands as FU Renfamous money. Etheris Fox says, donate $100 to Trump each time you're called a Nazi. Mello E says, defamation is nearly impossible to prove in court. It's well known. It's foolish. Add a poster to a project of our choosing for something. It's not what it's for. Matthew Gervais says, all hail Lord Dirtworm, High Priest of Clan Pestilence.
You know what? I wish Ren would hit Doug's hand with a fire hose.
Which fire hose?
He'd have to pretend to be gay.
Oh.
Yeah, my hands are gay. All right, I'm going to blast him with a fire hose. Matthew Gervais, says that. Bloated Dragon says, hey, EVS, did you see Aldo Jones' Captain Marvel weird trailer that came out a few days ago? It's pretty funny. Improvement over the original. I haven't seen it yet.
I saw it. It's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is Captain Marvel you don't mean Shazam, you mean Captain Marvel.
No, Captain Marvel. They like edited the actual trailer to make it interesting.
Oh, okay. It's not official.
They put a lot of weird shit in there, like Tobey Maguire dancing from Spider-Man 3.
I gotta see it. That sounds like fun. JM says, you can burn through the excess in one case. Use it for standing legal advice. For big items, raise money on a case-by-case basis. Less perceived politics about who gets money and who doesn't. George Asuncion says, EVS, did you see Rob Liefeld's Indiegogo? I saw it. We'll check in on it real quick. Let's see if it moved.
Excuse me.
It was at 683 before, and it is now at 683. All right. Not.
Ethan Van Sciver.
You know what? I know. I miss those. I miss those blokes.
Yeah. That's the difference. I mean, Comicsgate.
Rob?
What?
He pushes Daredevil like he owns it, and every time he pushes it, he's going to get money for tweeting about it. And he doesn't push his own projects as hard, like not even 1/4 as hard as he pushes like the Daredevil movie or the Daredevil
Deadpool,
DVD.
you mean? Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Yeah.
Whoever he created.
Dead Devil.
I love Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool's a huge thing. I mean, you would think that having created Deadpool, he would be a multi-millionaire off of it. But I don't get the sense that he's got that kind of money from it.
Everybody's not as smart as Todd McFarlane, apparently.
No.
Todd McFarlane gets the bag. You know, it's like,
yeah. I want to be Todd McFarlane so bad, dude. He was so brave.
We all own our IP. I mean, we're way ahead of people who were starting out, doing indie stuff 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think the difference between Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld, there are a lot of differences, but Rob never really had original ideas. And when he did, I mean, Brigade wasn't a bad idea. If I'm correct, Brigade they're zombies. They're dead.
Yeah, like Universal Soldiers.
Why does it look like this then? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why it looks like that. Like, why couldn't you hire artists who would, no offense, but like make it look like they're dead people who have been reanimated and
in a million years, I never would have guessed they were dead.
That's what I'm saying. Now, Todd McFarlane, on the other hand, had a great. So that's the only original idea I think that Rob Liefeld ever had. Youngblood wasn't an original idea, really. It's like, well, maybe a little. We're movie stars. We're kind of like celebrity superheroes. All right, it's okay. But Spawn really had something going on. I mean, it was just, man, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just a really colorful, really intriguing and fun concept.
Yeah. It was dark.
Yeah. It was
beautifully drawn.
The first horror superhero book.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's
hype when that came out. I waited in the snowy rain for the shop to open to get like 6 copies of that.
I love the fact that none of the issues were ever released in order.
Yeah, that was weird.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Todd is just way smarter. Like, I don't think the thing I admire about Todd is he's a little bit like me. I don't think Todd's educated. Todd's just street smart. I didn't get to go to school. I didn't get to go to college. Well, I graduated high school, but I didn't get to go to college. My family was so big and so broke that just wasn't an opportunity for me. And it wasn't like I was the type of guy that was going to crack the books in order to get a lot of scholarships. I lived in outer space. So, I didn't get to go to college. But I am pretty clever, and I tend to kind of look around and assume that everyone is I'm a little bit smarter than most people, and then not as smart as most of the people in comics. And I think that kind of attitude has initially served me very well. It's kept me humble and it's kept me on my toes. But now I'm starting to think I'm smarter than a lot of these people. I'm looking at like Mark Waid. No, I know, but it's like these people are really dumb. Like, I mean, they're dumb. You don't see what I'm doing. You guys don't see what we're doing here. You don't understand why this is important. You don't see the great big iceberg coming. You don't see that on its way. No, you just want to sit here and say, why aren't you working at DC? You idiots. You fucking idiots. Like, you don't understand what's going on. You've been in this industry for how long? I've been in this industry for 25 years. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've never seen anything like this before, ever. And we're preparing ourselves. It's a little bit like I was telling Andrea, I was like, we're in the car and I'm driving home and she's like, why? Why are they like this? I'm like, you know what it is? Like, if you had a neighbor who was like a survivalist, and you saw him like preparing himself for something, like really preparing himself, you might make fun of him and be like, oh, he's crazy. He's dumb. Why isn't he? But deep down inside, you're only doing it because you're like, what does he know that I don't know? Right. Like, why? Why is he super prepared? Am I prepared? Like, maybe the fact that I'm not prepared makes me a little insecure and kind of scared, and I'm taking it out on him. And that's kind of the way I think Comic Skate is right now. We're sitting there going, guys, SJWs have infiltrated and wormed their way through this industry. It is a moth-eaten sweater right now. It's going to fall apart. And there has to be an alternative. There has to be, somebody has to get together with other people and form and preserve what's good about comics and make a life raft.
As a kid, Ethan, when you said that you didn't have college, I think it's a lot like you have street smarts and you're fighting an enemy. I don't know about an enemy, but you're fighting a bunch of inbred academics, and that's how that's why they can't guess where people like you come from. It's a lot like Trump too. Is I think when you're on a stage full of 17 academics, there's one guy who's a little more straight, who has a little more business savvy, and is rougher on the edges. Fine, you can tell by the way you talk that you're just not you're not the blue-haired guy cut, and that's what they all are. All of those guys have academic degrees and probably their masters. So I just think that straight wisdom is a great benefit. So there's no loss at having life experience but no college, because you just had a different education for those years than they did.
Yeah,
different perspective.
I hope so. I think that's true. But I'm always surprised. I'm always surprised that like the stuff that I do. I mean, you look at my career and compare it to someone like Jamal Igle. You know what I mean? And it's like just choice after choice after choice that I've made have been just bang on, dead accurate, correct. Everything that I've done have kind of pushed me forward and made me more visible, more important, wealthier. And then everything that he's done, all of his decisions have kind of pushed him in reverse. And yet you still want to second guess me when I'm doing these things. And then you're surprised when Cyberfrog makes $500,000. You're shocked.
Well, but I was surprised, and that's because I live more in that artistic academic world, and so it's a different thing working, where we're told a lie by culture that if you get this degree or if you get this training, or if you play by the rules, then it's all going to work out. And then suddenly some guy comes in who's a rule breaker, and he flies in a way that other people just can't.
Right, and it bugs them.
Well, and by the way, it can still crash to the ground. It's held by a thread. But that's why I keep thinking like the timing of when you came about and when Comicsgate came about is a huge important part of the whole thing. It's not like you just came out of nothing from 10 years ago. It was the right time and the right place to do this.
Stuff happens for a reason, man. And you're right, Doug. I mean, it's not a coincidence. All these little pieces kind of fell into place. And not only, Ethan, do you have an understanding of how the industry, it's almost like you had 30 years to prep for this. You know what I'm saying? 25 years to prep for this. But not only that, but you've been given the support system of individuals that are like-minded. They may come from different backgrounds, man, but the common goal is the fact that, again, we want to make content free from agendas and free from preachy content, man, just good stuff. And so, I mean, it's like all these things are coming together. Dude, I was talking to Antonio about that today on the stream, man. It's just like you couldn't write a better, story than what's happening now.
Yeah.
I wish we could chronicle this. I wish we were keeping a journal of Comicsgate just to remember all these events. Remember them accurately. I wish that I'd kept a journal for the last 2 years so I could write a book about this, because, it's important. I don't know I think I could make it an entertaining read. It's fascinating watching all of this stuff happen. And I just, it bears scrutiny. I mean, people should actually know what's going on in pop culture and all of this kind of weirdness.
Well, there is a journal. It's the internet.
That is true. That is true. But you know what? Like, I want to get it in order. And then what was I thinking at the time? What was my reaction to all of this? How did this hit me personally? And just have that kind of a journal available that I could write a book about. That's the story that people
don't know, is the behind the scenes, what was going through your head at the start. And of course, Richard Meyer comes into this too, because it's easy looking back going, hey, he did it. It's what I want to hear about is what it was like going in.
Yeah, for me, it was just I was dragged in. You know what it was? It was me denying. Comicsgate for me was me denying that there was a monster until it had me in its mouth. And that was when I said, okay, this is a thing, and I need to fight back now before it's too late. Because you can watch my old videos. and you can see me just saying things like Comicsgate isn't a thing. It's not real. This is just silly people trying to make something Gamergatey out of a little bit of a dispute in comics. And before you knew it, I was being harassed, and I was on the phone with DC Comics, trying to explain what was going on, and explaining to Dan DiDio, saying, Dan, I'll never forget this conversation. I've never told anyone this. I said, Dan, he called me from his home, and I said, Dan, this is going to sound crazy. There is a conspiracy within comics, and it is well orchestrated, and it involves editors at Marvel Comics and professionals, some of which some of which you've blacklisted, some of which do not work at DC Comics anymore. And they are specifically out to silence right-leaning voices, and they've targeted me, and they're doing this to me right now, trying to force me from comics. And I said, I know that sounds crazy. He said, Ethan, it doesn't sound crazy to me at all.
And that was for your support of Trump.
Yeah. And then Dan told me a bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh, like he opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. So I went, okay, I am Comicsgate. And I actually came out and said those words. I think I tweeted it out at one point, or I said it in a live stream. I just said, you know what? I've been denying this for too long. I am Comicsgate in all capital letters. Just, this is me. This is my life. It's not just that I'm declaring myself, and my allegiance to this cause. It has ruled my life for the past, year and a half, and I can no longer deny that it exists, that there is a conspiracy, that there is a group of very well-organized and cruel comic book fans, former professionals, and some people at the highest levels of Marvel Comics, and a little bit also within DC Comics, who are organized and trying to make social change within the comic book industry. And I have to stand up to it. I have to. And that was just me sticking out of the monster's mouth saying, oh, you're real. I admit it now, as you're piercing my flesh, you're real. And now I have to fight back. So that was my Comicsgate experience, and I would love to have chronicled that. I would love to chronicle that as a book, and just remember what I was going through and what it felt like when that was happening to me.
Indiegogo that book, Ethan. How I did it.
Yeah.
I just think of Antonio Bryce, because he's a neighbor. Antonio Bryce and I. Look how far your reach is for the guy that didn't go to college. Antonio Bryce and I couldn't have done with Comicsgate. We couldn't have raised $500,000 and done what you did, and wouldn't have reached you, but you reached us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is weird when you think of there's a lot of people from backwoods areas, Mitch Breitweiser, and just like we're all through the South. I'm used to only influencing people and hiring people from LA.
Yeah.
And yours goes deep. And I just think that's a unique time. It's a weird place that we're in, where you helped people who and found people, who just we were way out there. And I think it's your unique background that made it happen. The way that you carry yourself and your business model is just weird, but it's like it worked.
Yeah, I was planning on it. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing when I started.
You didn't freaking know you'd get $500,000.
No, not at all. Not at all. I was thinking, honestly, I was looking at everyone else and I was going, I might be able to get $80,000 for this, possibly. But really what we're hoping for is $30,000. I remember that. I didn't know it was going to go that far at all.
And now 80,000 YouTube subscribers and millions of views. That's the thing that I think, I don't want to impugn Liefeld's character, because I like the guy, but I think people look at what you did on Indiegogo and go, well, I can do that, but they can't. That's what I mean, is like, it's not, they can't trace your path and they can't do what you did the way that you did.
Not only that, Doug, but to your point, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, The fans matter.
Yeah.
You know, and when Ethan, you read that little blurb by Mark Waid, you know, asking for people to vote, you're pulling from a fan base you abused. So there's no support.
Right.
Like over here, man, like I was talking to Antonio, I was like, you literally, if I was a fan and a reader and I didn't do comics, hopping on these streams, like all the people that you guys, this is to y'all, you guys that are listening, you're getting a comic convention panel right now.
Yeah.
True.
And you didn't have to pay for it. You know, some people doing super chats, yeah. But for the most part, it's free. It's open access. You get to ask questions. You get to throw in your input. And with a lot of those other individuals in the bigger mainstream, you got to go to convention, and not everybody can go. And so this is an opportunity, and it's even more intimate scenario because now they can, hey, Ethan, what about this? Hey, I got an idea for that. You know, and you can bounce back, you can talk to them, you can chat. So we have a rapport with our fan base that those in the mainstream will never have. And the reason why they were able to raise $100,000, man, is because we're tangible. We're real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We have access. Those big timers do not read your tweets. Or if they do, they do not care, and we care.
Plus, we have fun, you know. I mean, outside of the drama, when the drama's gone, it's just a fun group of creators and bouncing back and forth and talking about new ideas, future new concepts that people are getting excited about, and we're bringing energy. We're bringing energy.
That's right, man.
I think the big two, I mean, it's like forced fun. You're going to enjoy this rehashed #1 title and buy it and enjoy it. That's not a party. That's not garage band party. You know, that's what we are. And I just see so many of our backers coming to us like that. It feels like
DC Live.
Huh?
You don't watch DC Live on their channel?
I did.
It's like an infomercial where everybody's being held at gunpoint.
Horrible. Can you imagine all of us doing another? Maybe we'll do like more like a big variety show. Ethan can be the remember the old variety shows? People doing acts, doing stuff.
Oh yeah.
This was Ben. I thought this already was.
Well, that's kind of what this is. I mean,
bringing on other people, other things.
Yeah, I try to. Well, you guys are great. The reason why you guys are here and keep coming back is because you're all really good, and everybody knows who you are now, and you're becoming stars on social media, on YouTube, and in Comicsgate. So it's good to have you here, and I want to make that possible for other people too.
Absolutely.
But what we're doing is, I had this idea that actually letting people in. First of all, let's let go of the secrecy behind creating comics, because everyone else is already doing that. And I honestly feel like when it comes to independent comics, nobody gives a shit. You go, well, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the next issue because it's a spoiler. Dude, you're lucky if anybody reads your next issue. You're an independent comic. This is not Spider-Man. This is not Justice League. Stop. Let people in. Let people feel like they own it, like they're a part of it. So when we talk about Fearsome, we're doing it very openly. We're talking about the creation behind it and listening to the people talk about it. Yep. Rainbow Brute was something that everybody participated in. Everybody saw it. We talked about it a lot. They feel ownership of it. Rainbow Brute belongs to Comicsgate. Yep. Bro White now. They want Bro White comic book. What in the world? We might have to if they want it. We're gonna do it. This is what Comicsgate's all about.
Definitely.
So you say, hey, I've got a concept. The kind of meetings that we would have in private, we need to have in public. The creative meetings that we would have, one-on-one on the phone, preparing something to hit somebody with. No, let's not do that. Let's do that in public and let the fans hear what it sounds like when creative people talk through an idea, and let them get involved and let them be a part of it. And I'm telling you, that is something that there is no other outlet for that. There's no other place that fans can get that kind of an experience. Marvel can't do it. DC can't do it. Image can't do it. We can do it. It makes us special, makes us unique, and it makes the fans closer to us. The customers.
We can start with a
more
plotting
involved.
session, brainstorming session, and then plot it out. What would the character do next? Brainstorm next ideas. That's pretty cool.
That's what you did with Links on the Drawn and Quartered.
That's exactly right. Links
Right.
was just the idea behind Links isn't too precious to me. It's just something that I gave away to Joe Quesada 20 years ago. But it's just like, all right, well, I still own the name, so let's go ahead and let's build Links. And it's like we did it very publicly between like 4 different artists.
Yeah, that was cool.
How much cooler can you possibly get than that? People watched, and by the way, it's not done. Mike, I'm sure Miller thinks it's finished. His design is not finalized. I'll take a pass at it.
He's 5% there. I got news for you, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, John Malin designed the claws, and those claws are fucking awesome.
The gloves, that was awesome. I saw John's design on that.
We have real people here, real creators who are super smart, super talented, all coming from different places. Everyone's self-confident. Everyone's self-assured. We all love each other, and we can all do great things together. We're not out to hurt each other. We're out to help each other succeed.
Yep.
This is a totally unique. There's no backbiting and no backstabbing here. I won't tolerate it. None of us should. We should always be helpful to one another.
I see nothing but collaboration. People throw up, hey, I need some help. I need that, this or that. We all come together. And then there's going to be a lot of new collaborations, I feel, in 2019, 2020.
Oh, yeah. 2019 is going to be the birth of All Caps Comics. So All Caps Comics is going to be the first step towards companies, actual publishing houses within Comicsgate. That's my goal for next year. We'll take it step by step. It's got to grow organically. The important thing is always growing our audience, growing our subscriber base, fighting back. We're going to push back on the opposition. But I think we're doing that. We're taking steps towards that with the Mark Waid lawsuit. That should send a clear message.
Also, Ethan, I'm on a much lesser level. I'm not a real creator, but the character Dick Ryder, Spirit of Virtue, is probably going to appear in Cash Grab, and that was something that I came up with on air with you, and then Elliot just drew it up.
Yeah, but see, that could be it.
We're going to use that, like
that could actually be its own book in and of itself. It's like
it should be.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many artists, Cecil, there's so many artists within Comicsgate that would draw Dick Ryder for you if you wrote it, because it would sell a ton of copies. So, I mean, this is all good. All right. With that, let me read the rest of these super chats, and then I'm going to get to work. I'm going to be up all night working on Frog. Got to get this book finished, and I'm like cranking on it, having a great time, but I'm pushing. I got to get it done. Let's see here, and thank everyone. Thank you for all the super chats. Jason Pryor says, when Zach's campaign broke 100K, Waid's supporters started bragging about having more Facebook shares. They're scared. Yeah, what that basically is, that's a social justice warrior kind of trope. They look at things like Mark Waid asking for money and go, that's a great thing. I better share that so somebody else can do it. SJWs do not put their money where their mouth is. They just go, somebody else do it. Somebody else. So them having 1 million Facebook shares is hilarious. It points out who they are. Meanwhile, we have fewer shares, more donations. Big Red says it's a tax write-off if you donate it to charity. She's my favorite stripper. Dallas Deadeye says we can start with Ren so she can see the NPCs won't have her back. No, I don't want to just, Mellow E, thanks for $5. I'll be withdrawing my contribution to his GoFundMe and putting it into his Patreon then. Foolish. All right. David de Bergerac says trash Alienware. Big Red says Lady Alchemy only 1,700 away from its tarot goal. Nasser Rabadi says check out the Kick Nasser shirts on Crypto Fashion. Yeah, he's got Kick Nasser shirts. They look pretty good.
Yeah.
Justin P says $5. Lissa Drack was super memorable. I want her to show up in DC movies. Billy the Mac says I worked at a casino EVS. The house always wins. I know, you got to know when to leave. Essentially, I'm ahead of the game right now. I'm still ahead in terms of my gambling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Okay. Have you seen Batman Ninja? Says SeedFan85. I haven't.
Oh no, it's dope.
Good?
Oh yeah. There are a couple of DC cartoon movies they've been putting out are incredible. I like the Like they're doing the whole Death of Superman, Reign of the Superman thing. I know that they got the trailer to Reign of the Superman on YouTube now, and it's coming out in January. So I'm like, yeah, I was surprised that the Death of Superman was so good, and I was like, okay,
it was really good.
Yeah, I was like,
how's your father? Says EVS. I don't have a gambling problem. I don't. Man.
Said every gambling problem.
Yeah, I don't get to gamble enough, honestly. That's my only problem. I would love to go to, I can't go to Atlantic City whenever I want. Corvus Force Walker says, colored box, going through chat, asking people to back Lair and Lone Wolf on IGG. Good Comicsgate folk, doing great projects. Thanks. Hematlos says, we need that 911 tape. It's coming. We're trying. Chris L. Lightwolf, thanks for a $5 donation. Danny Agent 87, somebody should trigger Mark Waid in the courtroom. Siren Jag says, you left that picture. You left the picture of that ass up for so long. Wade's image is now burned into my monitor. Thanks for that, Ethan. No pie for 2 hours. Matt Nessheim says, who is it that keeps sniffing like they're snorting coke? It's really irritating.
Gotta be Cecil.
That's Cecil. Jonathan Dodson says, on a positive note, love when Antonio and Kanan are on and can't wait to get Brand. First one I funded. That's great.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Hoosier Highway says, did Wade incriminate himself? He gave more info about that Scott girl than she posted. Yeah, that's right. Check out my art, Twitter, John at John_FN_Kinney. Love you guys. Thank you. Brennan Pitts says Prince was the best American musician and composer. Please back T-Bird and Throttle on Indiegogo. 5 days left. That campaign's doing really well. Help a good Christian lad make it happen. Pixel Trader, IndieCron's new update is live. Okay. Laughing Man, thanks for $5. Didn't they make fun of Noah as he built the ark? You're building the ark, saving what's good so everyone can prosper. Yeah, we've said that. MW says Islands of 9 Battle Royale free weekend in about a month. Kickstarted game, dev team of 15. Free weekend is with a huge content patch. PC only DDR4 system with mid-tier graphics card required. Somebody understands that. It's not me.
Can you repeat that? I was writing it down.
Are you serious? Veils are. Thanks for $5. My father used to say luck is a factor, but I find the harder I work, the luckier I get. True. Ian Howe, thanks for $20. Recovering at Mass General. Oh, good. The surgery went very well. I think you had a colonoscopy, some kind of.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there was something colon related there.
He's
thanks.
on my Twitter feed, man. God bless you, buddy. Good job.
Yeah, thanks for the thoughts and prayers, everyone. Comicsgate is love. Yeah, please heal up. Know that you're cared for. MW says, I don't work for Islands of 9. Alejandro Pineda says, a dumb man gets smart, a wise man gets clever. Guys like Todd and Uncle Ethan understand that simple difference. Yeah. James Dean, creator of Conflict, says, here's the simple truth. Tort is a crime. Being an opinionated or unlikable YouTube critic is not a crime. Libel is also a crime. It's not difficult. Maz G says, Mike Cernovich just tweeted our Lady Alchemy comic, feeling blessed. Thanks for all the support, guys. Awesome. Fuck Google says Cecil is the heart of Comicsgate. Elbow says, hi, I launched my cartoon series on YouTube, Goddamn Ukuleles. Let me know what you guys think. James Dean, creator of Conflict, says, I have found more support, more encouragement, more advice, and more friends while working on Conflict in this last 3 months than in 25 previous years. And James Dean also says, and Comicsgate has been a hell of a lot more fun, too. Saggy Bones says, do a bro white ash can for Rainbow Brute Indiegogo. It's a good idea. Rainbolt says, next fairy tale princess appropriated for men, Cinderella. Meet Tinder fella. Diversity Comics Bear says, this is reason 500,000 the comics publishers need to understand they've catered to people who have no plans of paying them money. Right. The Regulator 1, Mark Waid purchased 70s Marvel ads, how to get girls. Okay. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming here tonight. Happy Halloween. The midnight hour is about to approach. This is fun. I'm going to watch horror movies all night and draw frogs. Appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for being on the panel. Thank you, Kanan. Cecil, thank you
welcome.
Very much. Critias, Donald.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
yes,
Doug.
definitely.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, John. Thank you, Ben.
You.
Oh, shizzle for shizzle.
I'm gonna watch a movie called Trick or Treat from I think 2004. It's a good,
Nice. Good one.
That's fun.
Written by Michael Doherty, who ruined one of my scripts. But,
Nice. So you'll enjoy it that much more, knowing that it caused
knowing that it's
Doug
cost
some
me
pain. All right, guys. Good night, everyone. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have that 911 tape. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
All right.
Peace.
Oh.